Welcome to Patriots Unfiltered.
I expect them, like Evan said, to be overly aggressive. What the hell? Prime time. It's all about me. Let's go. Defensively, do we need to worry about pressure?
Yeah.
Yeah. Please stop Paul's shows from grinding my gears. Suggestion to you, my advice is don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Don't let them bother you.
No, I don't know a lot of people my age that are
You're a
handy
city
Alex.
boy.
I'm not
I could
gonna
say something, but I don't want to insult the generation.
No, it's okay. This is one that I'm leaning into. So
I mean, it might not be Jameis, but that feels like Jameis' style too. He won't play, but I always just enjoy his post game. My favorite one is like, I pray to God that I can stop throwing pick sixes. Be ready
Is
to
Dable
start and
coaching
fast.
for his job, or is it pretty much over?
He already
for him?
was fired.
Oh, that's right. What am I talking about? He's done. Eye on Evan.
Evan was kind of just lurking.
People weren't going up and shaking his hand for Vrabel, mentioning him by name. Is this the real deuce? It's got that tone to it.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
All right, welcome to Patriots Unfiltered. It is Wednesday here at Gillette Stadium, and it's kind of a weird Wednesday for our show because we're not turning the page. No, nothing to turn the page to except the bye week, which very welcome here in the building. Players are already gone, right?
Yeah.
It's like NASCAR just coming out of the parking lot. Couldn't get out of here quick enough, and I don't blame them. But we've got a lot to talk about.
Do
A little bit of an announcement today.
couple announcements.
Yeah. So who wants to be the bearer of good news?
You want me to start it off?
yeah, this is your job.
I'll give you that.
This is
Well, I will start with
Evan's right.
the first news of the day, which was that Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft are finalists in their respective categories.
So what does
for the
that
Pro
mean?
Football Hall of Fame. So I think there were 6 coaches, and they were narrowed down now to 1, which is Bill Belichick, and then there were a handful of owners or contributors as well. Robert Kraft was narrowed down to that one. So they will enter the
think it's
pool with
5.
the modern era players, as well as there will be the alumni, the older guys.
3 seniors.
3 seniors who were also announced, unfortunately not Stanley Morgan. So I don't know. This process seems to get more complicated every year to me.
Yeah.
But they are the finalists in their category. So Bill Belichick is the
So
one
because,
coach
but
that's
just
up.
because of the finalists in their category
Right.
doesn't mean they're in.
Doesn't right. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but
It's
they'll
3.
enter the pool. 3.
It could be up to 3.
3 out of what?
Out of those 5,
Yeah,
as
so
many as 3.
Sure.
so it's Belichick, Mr. Kraft, Ken Anderson, Roger Craig, and L.C. Greenwood are the 5.
So 3 seniors, 1 coach, and 1 contributor.
Correct. And up to 3, but not you don't. That's the maximum.
Yeah.
You don't need to put anybody in.
And they'll be in a group with the 26, I believe,
Yes.
finalists.
And they have to get,
Or
in
regular
order to
players.
get in, you need 80% of the vote.
Yes.
Yes.
And whose vote are we talking?
Now we're talking about the body at large, I believe.
Oh, really? So the
So
same people who are voting on
I believe
the
so.
other people are
because
voting on this.
these
It's not a
committees
separate panel.
are the separate committees are the ones that are putting in,
I see.
to nominate Bill Belichick and Robert
So the
Kraft.
Bill Polians of the world and the Vic Caruccis of the world and the Sal
Yeah.
Palantonios, they're voting on this group as well as the current players,
and the-
or I should say
and
the.
Peter King
Yeah.
and all.
Okay.
it's-
Peter King.
with their cigars and
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Typewriters.
And we will know the results when.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll know until like Super Bowl week.
week.
Yeah, NFL honors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay. So it's all clear to
big
me
news,
now.
right?
Yeah.
I think Evan's excited
I
about
hope it's all
Well, the
clear to
good
L.C.
news
everyone.
Greenwood,
we'll
another
be there.
Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah, right. We'll be there
They'll
anyway.
all be there anyway when we find out.
I love when Deuce mansplains to me the Hall of Fame process, though. That was great.
I didn't mansplain anything. I was saying
Yeah.
L.C.
I asked
Greenwood.
him to explain it.
I know, it's just
There's
great.
a lot of
It's
people
called
don't
I'm not gonna
know.
lie, I need it mansplained to me.
Podsplaining?
No,
I didn't even do a good job
I'm
at it.
being sincere. I really enjoyed that.
No, I just pointed out that another Pittsburgh Steeler, which Evan is
I don't wanna
famously,
talk about it.
Oh, I missed that.
The L.C. Greenwood.
What's
Right,
going to
that went
happen
right over my
is
head.
the 10 Patriots that are up for this.
And they're still letting Steelers
They're
from
going to
the
let the
70s
Steeler in, but they're not going to let any of the Patriots in. That's
Right.
exactly what's going to happen. I know it.
There you go. And,
Oh, God.
And the last news of the day, which I could let Evan do if you want, but
Nope, this is
Drake Maye, officially your AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
First time in his this season.
First time in his
career.
career. You know what's crazy? I had to go back. You know, the last time a Patriot won this award, all the way back to 2017.
Oh, God.
Tom Brady won it 3 times and Gronk won it once, and otherwise there's been no offensive Patriot to win it. Maybe not all that surprising, but I would have thought maybe 18, 19, Brady got something in there, but no, he didn't. So congratulations, Drake.
I mean, Drake had a good game, 282 or something like that.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's interesting. I can see with a furrowed brow, you're like,
but it's kind of
wasn't like, oh my God.
For him, it's been an average game.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
kind
I
of.
thought that was one of his better games.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, he played one of his best games, but I thought that I'm with Fred. I think that like there
It wasn't like
He's been kinda
statistically,
doing
oh my
that.
God,
Yeah.
this was the game.
Right.
That, like, it was
Yeah.
kind of like, you've been
Right.
doing
I mean,
this, kid, now you get
Statistically, that's about, 280. So it was like 5 yards off his career high, or 10 yards off his
Well,
career
yeah.
high.
I
I
something
think
like that.
294
Right,
is
but
his
that's
career.
but
I mean,
usually
that
when
was
you
up
think of
there.
offensive player of the week, you think of running back with 200 yards or quarterback
yeah.
with
Oh.
350
I thought
plus.
you meant, I'm sorry, I thought you meant in relation to May.
Oh no! I'm talking
generally
about
for
the
the
award.
award.
saying
282,
you're surprised.
2 touchdowns.
I even thought in
I
relation to
misunderstood.
May, like
Yeah.
I think that like he didn't win it against Buffalo when they beat Buffalo.
But who was he up against that week? That's the thing.
I don't know how you could play
So
much better
I think
than he
the
did in
point I was
Buffalo.
trying to
He
get
played a good
to.
day,
Yeah.
He played a great game against Buffalo too.
The point I was trying to get to is it probably wasn't a huge offensive week.
Yeah.
Fred downplaying Drake May's
but-
awards.
No,
I hear what he's saying though. I was a little surprised
It's a-
too. Of like, no, it's
it's-
good, it's
it's a
deserved, but
little
it wasn't
bit of a
like
down
you know,
year.
if he had 324 touchdowns,
Right,
like, oh, there it
right,
is. But you
right.
know, it's look respectable. And I think the thing about Drake May too is that this is like his consistent performance. You know, it's not
Exactly.
really wavering from this. He's kind of 250 plus, a couple touchdowns, and the no turnovers was big too.
Yeah.
for him.
So I think he's third in passing yards per game, but he still doesn't have a 300-yard game,
right.
which tells you that just
Consistency.
every single week he's just at like 280.
yeah.
Every week. And I give him, they did a little bit in this game, like that last drive in the fourth quarter, they were throwing down near the goal line. I think we talked about it during the game, but he's very ethical hooper. Like he doesn't go out there and stat pad a whole lot. So, some of these fourth quarters, like they could he could go and rack up 80 yards on a touchdown drive, up 3 scores in the fourth quarter. And they don't really do that
No,
too
I
much.
would agree with that. I think they've been not in control, but they've had the lead in virtually every one of these games, and that's going to lead to lower totals at the end.
Yeah, you take your foot off the
'cause
gas a
you're
little
trying-
bit.
That's what kind of stood out to me in this game. Because I agree with Evan. I think in general they've been very smart about the way that they've handled the end of the game. And Mike Vrabel has mentioned many times after these games, it's always good to end in victory formation.
With the ball in your hand.
With the ball, that's the phrase.
He's
that he
big on the
uses.
5-minute offense.
The ball in your hand. Yeah. Bill used to have those little quirks too, where people would call it the red zone. He always called it the red area. Everybody calls it the 4-minute offense. Vrabel calls it the 5-minute offense. It's like these little.
We call it the green zone because it means go. Come on. What are we doing? As coaches, they do that too. No.
Yeah. All right.
What are we
So
doing?
that's the news. And it's all good.
It is good. Drake is also leading in Pro Bowl voting. So he's, Drake's having a moment. Well deserved. It's I continue now just not getting right back into the grind of another game this weekend and doing everything that we have to do
Well,
to get ready for that.
I hope Maye doesn't go to the Pro Bowl.
Oh, no?
No.
He went last year,
No, because I hope we're in the Super Bowl.
Well, do you hope that he doesn't win MVP because the
right.
winner of MVP never wins the Super Bowl?
That's
so,
funny.
But that's broken because
Yeah.
Mahomes did it. So that's,
right.
that did
But
it did go back a long way.
one
before
in
that.
the last 25.
Like 99, I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
But
but-
I want him to win the MVP. I do.
Me too.
I don't care. I really don't.
That's not
I'm
going to lose
very-
any sleep over it. I'm a
No.
grown adult.
I am
I want to win,
very
the, I want to
into
win
it.
the Super Bowl.
I'm rooting for him to win the MVP.
I'm losing sleep over it.
This is so insane. I literally was shook after that Raiders game in week 1. And now we're talking about Drake May, leading the league in Pro Bowl
listen,
voting and being MVP.
did have to have a pep talk with Mike in
I was
week
a little
1. You
shook.
remember that?
Raise your hand if you were shook after week 1. And, I mean,
I was.
it was like, oh boy.
in my position,
We
I have
got
to plan ahead.
We have hands in the air behind the glass.
In my position, I have to plan ahead. And it's not unrealistic to think
His role in the
on the
game.
week of Super Bowl, we might have to cover
Yes.
Coach of the Year,
Yes.
MVP, Assistant Coach of the Year,
Yeah.
Comeback player.
and several people in the Pro Bowl.
And Evan probably will be at the Shrine Bowl.
Comeback player of the year, Stephon Diggs.
Yeah,
I think
well.
will be nominated.
yeah.
That's also an award. NFL honors, obviously, the Hall of Fame announcement.
Right.
Is
The
that night.
announcement? Yep.
So when you unpack this, it could be all those awards that you just named.
And the Super Bowl.
Mr. Kraft, Bill Belichick, Adam Vinatieri,
Yeah.
Rodney Harrison, and potentially the Patriots might be there in the Super Bowl,
Right.
in Santa Clara as well.
People are gonna hate us. I
mean, we're talking-
and I love it.
like for you and for us though, that's going to be
lot of
quite the
work.
night.
It's like a lot of work.
Yeah.
What's the awards again? That's so MVP,
Yes.
Coach of the Year, Assistant Coach of the Year, Comeback Player of the Year, absolutely in play. What else? Did I miss it?
I said people in the Pro Bowl.
That's it.
Oh, the people in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it. I mean, I don't know if like Drake would be nominated for Offensive Player of the Year and MVP, but it usually that doesn't go to the same person.
Yeah.
I think like Jonathan Taylor might or Puka might win Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And the MVP will go to the quarterback, but it is a little bit of a sneaky down year to the Player of the Week thing.
Yeah.
Sneaky that like last year Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson had like 50 total touchdowns and they were the nominees for MVP. This isn't that Stafford and Drake aren't quite having those types of seasons, but it's maybe the league is down. I don't know. Maybe
well,
the
even like
offense is
looking
down.
back through the AFC Offensive Player of the
You know
Week,
my answer.
it's like Josh Allen, Lamar, like those guys have cleaned up that award since
Yeah.
like 2020. It's like 2-3 of them every single
Mahomes,
year.
Yeah.
So it's just a sign of him, continuing to earn that recognition that he definitely deserves right now.
All right. Anything else we need to get on the table? I have a question for everybody.
Oh, I like when you bring
What?
show prep
Oh,
questions to the table.
I have the question, but I don't have the answer. So
We'll
that's
have
why
the
I'm.
answer.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
I like it a little less,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
No, I just want to know, like, what are you most interested this weekend when it comes to the games?
Oh,
And
that's a good question.
Maybe we should pull up the schedule.
Yeah.
I would say as you guys are looking at
Bo
the
Nix,
schedule,
continuing to see how good he plays.
I mean, I'm
Agreed.
watching Denver.
terrified of Denver.
because of the number one. Not because I'm
so
terrified.
scared. That altitude is horrible. Sorry. Okay. I'm sorry.
Just for
Oh, they're gonna
anybody
play the
that was
Raiders. Never mind.
anybody wondering out there, all 4 members of this show are very happily married. So
I haven't lived in a basement since college.
haven't
I
lived
also
in a,
didn't grow up in Hingham.
haven't lived in a basement, and very happily married for a long time now.
Yeah.
You even have kids, don't you?
Does the math? in
Yeah,
his
I'm
head.
interested in Denver, but I think the game's a formality because they think they're going to kill the Raiders.
Well, Joe
most
Burrow
likely.
at Buffalo.
That,
Well,
that was
I
what I
mean,
was
yeah,
gonna
that's
say.
the game
Just
to me.
like playing a little devil's advocate. They did beat the Raiders 10-7.
I know.
It was a Thursday.
And the
night.
AFC
It
West.
was a Thursday
That's-
night game, which I think always is a mitigating factor. But they did only win that game 10-7.
And their offense was, they kind of had Bo Nix in hell in that game. They had like 10 first downs on
That was a
offense. in that-
bad defense.
Hard to
Yeah.
do.
But very hard, right? Like it's like
Yeah.
shutting down prime
So,
Peyton Manning.
In order to follow
So
the
that's
rules,
why
I
don't
do
like it.
understand
You can't
that.
get too far.
I do, in order to follow the rules, I do understand that the Raiders had to make all the tickets available just to Broncos fans
Right.
for this game to make it as much a home game for the Broncos as possible.
Wait, this game's in Las
Really?
Vegas?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's unbelievable.
That's really
yeah.
interesting.
Well, yeah, I think
Especially
you
at
just
this
blew
point
Mike's
of the
mind.
year.
Yeah.
It feels like
Denver
the
on
league
the
is,
road?
really trying to, challenge them maybe a little
Yeah.
bit for I don't know what
Yeah,
reason.
so I'll be interested in that game for the number 1 seed, obviously.
Bills Bengals is
Bills
game.
Bengals is a game because I think there's a chance that Cincinnati gets it going like they did around this time last year, and it's probably too little, too late for them. But if they do, and then they beat Buffalo, it's over. I mean, the division's over. No, I mean, not officially, but
Yeah. No, I know.
practically.
Well, it's if the Patriots beat the Bills in
It's
week,
over.
it's anyway.
It's
but
over if the Patriots win the game. but-
if the Bills lose to the Bengals, like they have to start thinking about the playoffs, let alone winning the division.
Right.
So that's definitely in play. The AFC is not exactly top heavy this year, but there's a lot of teams that are like scrunched up in that like 5 to 10 range right now that are all like 8-4, 7-5, right in that range. But Bills Bengals for obvious reasons, like obviously the Patriots are going to play the Bills the next week and all that. But also, I really think the Bengals have a puncher's chance in that game. Their defense is starting
absolutely.
to play a lot better.
Yeah.
Burrow's back. If the team that played the Ravens on Thanksgiving plays the Bills on Sunday, I think they might
Without-
win.
T. Higgins?
Buffalo is
What's
very
what's up with
limited
T?
offensively right now with all the
Yeah.
guys that they're missing. I don't know who's coming back. Maybe Kincaid and
Yeah.
Dawkins and Brown. All
It
these
sounds
guys
like
come
Dawkins
back.
will probably be back because he's just in
Yeah.
a concussion protocol. But
Yeah.
I don't know about Brown because that injury looked bad.
I mean, the first third down of the game, against Pittsburgh for Buffalo, Josh Allen threw the ball to Brandon Cooks, who's been on the team for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, Evan's right. They're not guaranteed to make the playoffs.
I've watched a bit of them, man. You get on one thing. Sometimes I feel like you put the cart before the horse and you say, oh, they can't throw the ball down the field, but like they really can't throw the ball down the field. Like everything is underneath, and you can tell that it's just different. They're struggling, and that when they signed Cooks, I was like, that makes total sense.
It's a good signing, but it just speaks to how desperate they are.
And
right,
Gabe Davis
right.
too just got
Gabe
there.
Davis.
And now he was
Davis
there before,
He's
but
also getting targeted,
Yeah.
Same thing.
reasonably frequently.
yeah, I mean, outside of Shakir, they just don't really have anything consistent. And I think that like you see the difference between a team like the Patriots that's been building since training camp and how they have the same core group of guys around Drake since training camp and how advanced they can get from a passing game perspective. And then you watch Buffalo and it's like the same 5 plays. Because Brandon Cooks only knows 5 plays. So like, it's not like any knock on their talent necessarily.
Yeah.
It's just like they literally haven't had enough time on
Now-
task to build an offense. Like,
I wouldn't dismiss their chances, with all that said, and their inability to throw the ball downfield. And I think it was the lowest, average depth of target of his career in that game. They still blew out a team at home.
Yeah.
Like they blew out Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
That game wasn't competitive. So even with all of that going wrong, they still found a way to win a game that they had to win. So I wouldn't dismiss their chances.
The other game I'll be interested is at 1 o'clock, Indy and Jacksonville.
I was just going to say that one, Fred. Yeah. I mean, is Indy bounced back? Where are they?
Right.
I mean, now you've got a Jacksonville team that's been up and down, but surging a little bit. And, I mean, they have a real chance to get back on top of that.
I've
AFC
seen
South.
Jacksonville a little bit, and I can't think of a team.
can't put my finger on that team.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Mike's
Yeah.
Carolina Panthers, but I can't think of a team that looks better and worse at different times. Yeah.
They've taken
Maybe Carolina.
They've taken the game kind of out of Trevor Lawrence's hands. Like they're a run first offense now.
Absolutely.
And their run game's good.
And there are times that Lawrence just like gets in a groove, and it's like that's the number one. And then you watch him, and he's like wildly inaccurate, and Liam Cohen's yelling at him on the sideline. And
It's
that
a
guy's
bizarre.
volatile.
It's a bizarre team, and like Brian Thomas has kind of had a down year. Travis Hunter's hurt, so they're not even like getting the production out of those guys that you were expecting, and yet they're 8-4.
You know who's been big for him is the acquisition of Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
He's played well
He's
for
good-
them. And
good
then
kid.
then the kid Parker Washington.
Hey, Mr. Myers, how you doing?
Yeah.
He doesn't listen
I
anymore.
wonder
He
if he
does.
probably
Similar
doesn't.
kind of players.
Probably doesn't listen
It's
anymore.
like sad.
Well, maybe if we play the Jaguars in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Even Texans at Chiefs, the 8:20 game Sunday
Yeah.
night. I mean,
That's a good
Texans
one.
defense against
It's a great
Kansas City.
game.
And the
I think
Thursday night game's a good one, too. Detroit, Dallas.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just like those schedules. I know I don't want to go down that rabbit hole that we did yesterday, but like Detroit Thursday night against Dallas, like it's amazing.
Well, at least they had at least they had the whole week this time.
But I guess you'd rather do that, than
The
have
Patriots
to.
had that a few years ago, like towards the end of
We had a
Belichick.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we might have had 3 in a row. 3 primetime games in a row, and it was like one of them was like Thursday.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
So some good games, some real stinkers. Tennessee, Cleveland. I don't think I'll be tuning into that one.
No.
I saw
Miles
Deshaun
Garrett
Watson's
going through
window
sack
opened. I
record.
forgot. I
I
forgot
was
he
going to
was
say
still in the Browns.
that's Myles Garrett watch game right there.
Miles Garrett might get the sack
Cam-
record in this game.
That's what I'm saying. Cam Ward leads the league in getting sacked.
Oh,
right?
there you go.
Yep.
Sacks taken.
I think he only needs like 3,
Yeah,
right?
really. What is the record? Like 22, 23, something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'm
Only
checking.
there's a way we could look that up.
So
We'll never know.
I
I
think
just
it's
thought,
Strahan
I'd
and
ask
TJ
what
Watt.
people are going to be paying attention to this weekend.
And you same all those games that we mentioned.
Yeah.
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 I'm looking forward.
Nothing out of
to
the
it.
ordinary.
Yeah, it's a decent slate.
Yeah.
That's a good slate.
Yeah,
It's much
20
better than last
yeah.
week.
22 and a half. Strahan and Watt, TJ
Yeah.
Watt.
So
I knew the players. I didn't know the numbers.
So I was watching last weekend, and we kind of redid our Xfinity lineup and kind of carved out some stuff that we didn't want, and we didn't know it. But in doing that, we got NFL Network, but we didn't get the
you lost
NFL
Red Zone?
RedZone anymore. But from what I understand, it's now littered with ads.
Yeah,
No,
I
the
saw
littered
that
is a little
story
bit
Not that
today.
bad. They just go
That's a-
double screen and
that's
they
a
roll a
gross
10-second
exaggeration.
ad.
Is it? Okay.
I saw that
Yeah.
same thing that you saw today. They do periodically pop up, but you don't ever lose the.
Oh, okay.
No, it's
So
just
as
they
long
go,
as-
they
like, they don't
split
go-
box and
they
they run a
don't go
10-second
away to a
ad.
commercial.
I don't
It's a
mind
split.
that.
No, you barely even
I don't
notice.
mind that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree with Mike. At this point, you've seen it enough that you don't really even notice it anymore.
No, I didn't
And there
notice
are
it.
dead points in red zone for everybody. There are points where we're like, we got to just go right now to the.
I mean, this
That's
last-
less time for Scott Hansen to be misidentifying
right.
people in situations.
This last Sunday, like the 1 p.m. window was not great, anyways,
Oh,
and so they just
bad.
you could tell that they just loaded up all the ads in the 1 p.m. window,
Yeah.
so that once they got to the better games at 4, they didn't have to throw to the commercial. It's not that bad.
Oh,
It's
the
not
way you
that bad.
read it, it was like they were going away to the
Right. No,
commercial.
people are outraged about it, and that's one I don't really get on.
Now,
But
I am not necessarily saying it's not going to be an issue down the road. Like when ESPN fully, takes it over, and
Yeah.
I do wonder if they'll make any changes.
yeah,
That
don't do
are
real commercials.
that are
Just
more
as long As you
intrusive.
go 2 box and keep the stream
Yeah.
up of red
It's
zone.
annoying, but you can live with it.
It's not a big deal. Yeah.
It's no more annoying than when they do that regularly.
Yeah.
They go to the quad box.
You know what I was thinking watching Red Zone this week was
like
like
the
Scott
quad
Hansen
box.
went a
Oh, I
long
can't stand
time
it.
without talking, and I was like, wow, I wonder if he's like on a bathroom break. Like, what is sometimes like guys, I gotta go. Like, you have to run off the stage really quick.
He might have one of those things
Yeah.
goes down his leg into a.
Hours starts now.
I think he might. I worked with him at
Yeah.
NFL Network, and I worked like
Were you his piss boy?
yes. I mean, like I'm not
boy.
gonna even. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh
Like,
boy.
Oh boy!
yeah, like
Takes
getting
that.
Rich Eisen waters and stuff like that.
Hey, we've all been there.
But it was. I did like 2 or 3 red zone Sundays.
Yeah.
He doesn't move.
No, yeah.
He doesn't move. There's a bathroom behind him, behind the wall.
It's a lot like Paul on Red Zone Sundays. I don't move either.
But I mean,
Sunday.
maybe once.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does the same thing. He comes in on the mornings. He eats breakfast, and he has his binder, research binder.
Oh, so he does have
He
one.
does
Paul.
research and he still makes all those mistakes.
Can you
coming at you
stop?
fast.
He's
It's
a
coming at
very
you
nice
fast.
guy.
I'm sure he
He's
is.
the
You're
best.
hard on him.
I love
sure
I
he
think
is.
he's fine. I think he does a good job.
He was
I say
fantastic
this
to
all the
work with.
time. It's absolutely a me issue.
Yeah.
And it's.
I think you're just jealous. You want to
it's,
do that.
It's the thing that Mike always says. Like Mike just has this look that he looks at me and just shakes his head as if to say, "How on earth do you know that?" And it's a me thing.
Yeah.
It's just they're random things that are like when a guy makes a play and it's a number for a team. I almost immediately know who it is, and he almost never seems to know who it is. He just misidentifies the guy so much.
Well, you've spoiled it now for me when I watch it because every mistake, there is again. Come on. Like,
He's one
it's
of
like
the-
1 in 8
one
I
of the
guess if
hours.
you're a fantasy player, that matters. But all I care about is seeing the highlights.
It's also the excitement of the mundane that
Oh yeah,
bugs me.
sure.
The over-the-top enthusiasm for like a 3rd and 6 completion.
Very upset by this criticism.
God forbid he be enthusiastic.
Like out of all the people that I worked with
think
at
he's-
NFL
He was the
Network,
best?
he was one of the best.
Really?
He's at the top of the list.
got a hard job.
No
This
one's
is
better
not-
than Colleen. though.
This is not about a
She is the
personal. Like I've never met Scott.
I
Hansen.
know,
It's not
I
a
know. I'm
personal-
just
I
kind of
have met Rich
defending-
Eisen, and I like Rich
Defend
Eisen
my
a lot.
guy. That's all.
So you're the guy that used to get waters for. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
Rich.
Yeah, waters, coffees, pens. Pens was always big. Like you always had. In my pockets, I would just have like 10 pens because these guys, they'd never have a pen. So they're like, you have a pen? I'm like, yep, got 17 of them.
We've all been there. I've done that job.
It was the best.
Fetching waters.
Awesome 2 years.
All right, we got a lot of emails coming in. Wow, it's
Really?
it's
Why don't you read
crazy. I love this show and I love our listeners. They're always ready to engage. Good stuff.
Thanks for keeping us at the top of those rankings.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
Appreciate all the Spotify. Is that what?
This is where I needed you and Evan to sort of fill in the gaps. You know me. I just
yeah.
no randomness. I don't know the specifics.
You got a couple tweets at you of people sharing their
Yes.
top listened episodes.
Yes.
Todd in Rochester says, Fred, I'm surprised you've not mentioned the timing of the Patriots bye coming at a Monday night game, meaning players are finishing the game at midnight instead of, say, Sunday evening for a 1 p.m. game. One less day, almost 2 before playing Buffalo next. I say this with your Patriots versus everybody talk, and the NFL hates the Patriots hat on. I'll listen to Snarky Paul's response.
No, I don't have one.
No.
Other than the Giants had the same
Yeah, the
thing.
Giants.
Yeah.
This
They hate-
is
they hate-
ridiculous.
They hate the Giants too. So there it is. It's a little snark.
Okay.
That's right.
Spotify just released their yearly wrap up today. Yeah, we get those this
Yeah.
time of year. I just wanted to share the time I've spent with the crew. I've never emailed nor have I called, but I love the new crew nonetheless. Thank you for carrying the fan base through the Mac Jones era and being the highlight of my Tuesdays through Thursdays. So this is Patrick, and he spent 10,457 minutes on Spotify listening to our podcast.
I'm sorry.
Top 3% fan, he said.
What's that in?
So I've gotten a lot of those, and I appreciate.
Work harder next year,
Yes.
you get to the top.
I guess if you listen on Spotify, you get an email at the end of the year about how many minutes you've spent.
Yeah, how many minutes was it?
Over 10,000 minutes.
10,000?
You're an expert on this.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
It's 10,000 hours,
Doing the math.
I believe.
I was so, well, yeah, how many?
I know, but I'm just gonna go with it.
Yeah,
knew what you meant.
so it's 100.
I was starting to do it, and then I was like, wait, what? Minutes?
360 minutes a week times.
Hey, Francesa, let's go.
Yeah.
1, 2,
All right. Anyway,
3.
so good stuff.
Yeah,
Always like to get those emails from people. 855-PATS-500 is the hotline. Let's go to Dan, who's at exit 145 off the Garden State Parkway. What's up, Dan?
Thanks, Fred. This is kind of a Wednesday before the bye topic. I'll let others toss the well-deserved bouquets around this team and this season. Mr. Dussault, great job with episode 1 on the 85 team.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it. Looking forward to episode 2.
Monday. Coming Monday.
Okay, great. I know you couldn't go into it any depth, but you did touch on it, and I've done some research into why, pro football especially, never took off in Boston before the Patriots, and the reason those 3 NFL teams, and there was actually a couple of AFL teams too mixed in there, the reason they didn't stick, and even then, after the Patriots came, and it took a little while, even after they moved to Foxborough,
They
and they
stunk,
got
that's
out of
why.
the shadow of the Bruins and the Sox, there was really kind of a saturation point we reached here with kind of dampened the market for pro football. Even pro basketball didn't take root in Boston really until you couldn't ignore the Celtics anymore. And, of course, if you like pro football, you always had the Giants. But even beyond that, going back to the 30s, you had good football being played here on Saturday, usually one school, whether it was BC, Harvard, Northeastern, even Paul and my Terriers.
Holy Cross,
they'd
too,
be
baby.
actually ranked it sometimes. Yeah.
Well,
And there are other factors like the disdain the Globe had for pro football in the 30s and 40s. But I think it's between the Red Sox, the Bruins, and decent college football, there just wasn't much need for a pro football team here until you got to the late 50s when, the NFL really took off. Anyway, that's all I had. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Dan. I'm not sure the point of that, but no, I mean, you look at places like Cleveland, all right? They love their Browns.
Mm-hmm.
The Browns, they used to be good before the NFL, but the reason why those fans are so hard, it's a tradition that your father brought you into, and Boston never really had that tradition except for the Red Sox, and that's, the Patriots weren't even on every Sunday because they were blacked out, and so everybody watched Giants game and everybody became Giants fans. You didn't have those traditions in other sports like you do in Ohio, in Texas. But once they started getting good, like in the 70s, they built hockey rinks because of Bobby Orr and the Bruins.
Yep.
And then Bird came around in the 80s. And now things have changed because we've had a history of some good teams. But back then, like he's right, there was really no need for a pro sports interest because there wasn't a tradition. Like your dad wasn't watching, so you didn't watch.
Well, it was really the Celtics.
That's what I was
was
gonna
your
say.
guy, Bob Cousy.
Yeah, 50s Celtics.
Them
yeah.
drafting Bob Cousy and him being a Holy Cross guy and being a local kid, him and Bill Sharman basically put the Celtics on the map, and then they got Bill Russell, and then it really took off in the 60s. But it was really the fact that Cousy was a local kid and went to Holy Cross, and Holy Cross was a wagon back then in basketball.
Yep.
And then he went to the Celtics, and that was kind of what started the Celtics history. I've watched way too many Celtics documentaries. But yeah, that's right.
That was
That was pretty much what the Celtics would happen, and then obviously Bill Russell comes and they turned into the best team of the 60s. And
Yeah, it's interesting because that's what happened with the Patriots and Brady. Like, even though they had some success, the Patriots 76, 78, 85, it was isolated, and it wasn't superstar players. I mean, they had some superstars, but, like you said, you're pointing out the players like Bobby Orr and Kuzi and Russell, and it seems like you really need those superstar players and some sustained success to really get the claws in fans.
Yeah, and I think the other problem with the Patriots was, like you said, sustained, but the ownership was always never solid. And people really didn't like, am I really going to get behind this team?
Yeah.
And then when they brought in Parcells in '93, that really helped. And then Kraft bought it, local guy. So people were like, okay, I'll buy those season tickets. They're not going anywhere. Let's support them now. And the rest is history, as they say.
I mean, Robert gets so much mileage out of being a former season ticket holder. Just that, I think, just makes it connect with the real fans, and especially, like you said, have like the crappy fan experience that everybody had in the '80s. I think was for me like, well, this guy knows what it's like to sit on those ice cold bleachers and all that, and he has the fans in mind when he's starting to build the team. So I don't know, it's been such a key part of his ownership, I feel like.
Yep. Steve writes in, hey, Fred, not difficult to notice that you read emails from the same people all the time.
Oh.
Sick of listening to the same morons' opinions. Mix it up a little.
Okay.
I don't have the memory Paul does or the talent you and Deuce do, but trust me, I could give you all a run for your money talking sports. Here's an idea. 1 hour a week, you should have a guest fan appear on the show battling Paul for a Patriots trivia show. Alex could host. Might be lots of fun. Steve in the North Country.
Steve,
I try to.
more trivia than Paul.
Honestly, I try to mix it up. But if the email's not good, I'm not going to read it just because it's somebody I haven't read an email from.
Yeah.
So there's certain people, I guess, that seem to know what to write that gets my interest. I also, like, during the show, if we're having a conversation, I try to scan if someone's emailing in about what we're talking about. I try to get that in there. But yeah, I try to get new people in, but write something good and I'll read it.
With good grammar.
It's really hard.
It's really hard to do.
It's really hard to host the show and
And read
monitor
emails.
emails at the same time.
Well, if it was just two of us, I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
It'd be really
that's
hard.
why we don't really do emails on
But
Catch
there's-
22.
I can, while you guys are talking, I can be scanning.
And that's when I always
Yeah.
tease you when we're talking about something, and then you say whatever it is that we just talked about, and I make fun of you, but I know why you didn't hear it. It's because you're reading 4 or 5 emails trying to figure out what's relevant to our conversation.
Right.
It's not an easy thing to do.
Like, I think we've all done both these roles, but it's like it's so different than to just sit here and be like, tee us up, Fred. What do you got? Rather than like, all right, I got to get the phones. I got to make sure there's no, and then all of a sudden there's dead air, and you're like,
It's not as fun.
So, Steve, it's not. I'm not trying to favor anyone. Just so you know, it's just the way it is. Herm's in D.C. What's up, Herm?
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen? How you doing?
All right.
Hey, Herm.
So, 2 quick questions, but before I ask my questions, I did want to give you guys some props, right? Because I think nowadays with sports content, is just people they make it obvious, right? They're just chasing clicks and just saying outrageous stuff, right?
I never do that.
Please do not change the integrity of the show. Just stay where you are and just keep doing what you're doing. First question is, and I apologize if you guys talked about it in the early part of the show, but why is it that Robert Kraft is now getting, I guess, close to being voted into the Hall of Fame? I mean, he had, 10 Super Bowl appearances, 1-6?
Well, he's come close before.
Okay, I guess that's news to me then.
Yeah, he's come close before. They just keep changing the criteria and how they're doing it. And for a while, he had no chance because they mixed in coaches with so it was all mixed up. Now they've separated again, so now he's got a chance to get in again. But I agree, Herm. When you look at the other owners that have gone in, he should have been in long before this. Pat Bolin? I mean, come on.
No-brainer.
Yeah, it is, and I don't know, but hopefully he gets in this time.
Second quick question, and obviously I don't want to keep bragging on Tom Curran, but if you guys can help me understand why he would have traded down from picking Drake freaking Maye and select
J.J. McCarthy.
guy from Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah, J.J. McCarthy.
9.
Like, I guess what
9.
and that goes back to my point I made earlier, right? Chasing just like clicks and takes, right? That's one of the reasons why I enjoy listening to you guys. Because
So has he had a
I feel
chance
you
to
guys-
amend that?
Well, I would just say, and I didn't agree with him at the time, and I don't agree with him now, but the logic behind it,
Totally sound.
it was an argument that we were having at the
Absolutely.
time. Like the Patriots had a ton of holes on their roster. They needed a lot of different things. So if you could have added like 2 first-round picks and the 8th overall pick, and then just drafted J.J. McCarthy or Penix or something like that, and get the capital on top of it, I wouldn't have done it. But it wasn't totally out of left
no,
I
at
field.
the
wouldn't have done
time.
it because I didn't really like J.J. McCarthy.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
Like,
at,
if J.J. McCarthy was what he was supposed to be, like kind of like a Tom Brady, NFL ready guy who played for Harbaugh
Yep.
at Michigan and
Yep.
has a pro background, then it's an argument. It's a discussion. I liked Drake Maye from the start.
right.
So I could be like Evan and Mike, and the 3 of us could go around and
You didn't like him.
we could wave
I
our
haven't
Drake Maye
received-
flags in everybody's
I
face and
haven't.
say
No, so
we were
yeah,
right,
so-
you were right.
No,
but that's not right.
At the time, I can understand the argument. But is
Absolutely.
he still saying that he would have done that?
No.
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
no.
So that's all I care about.
No. And I mean, it's worth
No,
saying,
though,
like,
at the beginning of the season, he did say he would take J.J.
well,
McCarthy
after
over.
the Raiders game,
after the first game when McCarthy was
Right.
terrible the whole
Thanks,
night
Herm.
and then had a great
Yeah.
fourth quarter, everybody started saying, well,
Yeah.
this is the kind of stuff that McCarthy showed and blah, 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 blah. And now obviously he hasn't done that since.
Yeah.
And he's been hurt. His availability is in question. I think too often we look at these now as Drake Maye the MVP candidate. How could anybody have thought about trading down from him? I think it was a rational option
At that time.
at the time. The guy has never played a snap.
I think it
didn't.
was.
I didn't want to trade down. Evan didn't want to trade down. Mike didn't want to trade down. We all liked Drake Maye.
And most importantly, neither did Elliott Wolf. And I think,
Right.
and for all the things that went wrong in the 2024 season, I don't think he ever wavered from sticking and
No.
picking Drake Maye.
And I think that it's easy to sit there and say, and my boys do it all the time, like, well, it was an easy call. It was the third quarterback on the board was available at number 3. You take him. And I would agree with the identification of Maye. I would agree with that was kind of easy and fell in his lap. The question would have been if Maye had gone in the top 2, would he have taken one of the other 2 or not?
Right.
But there is
Yeah.
definitely a question that Evan just mapped out. Are you better off taking, multiple draft picks and taking one of the other quarterbacks? What would the Patriots' record be if it was Bo Nix?
Right.
And
No, I think
I'm just kidding.
I think you can make an argument that you would have won 7 or 8 games with Bo Nix. I mean, the roster's not. All apologies to our Denver listeners. Denver has also one of the easiest schedules in football, which is the point I was trying to make yesterday. There's a reason that those teams win so many games. When you play against a lot of middling teams to bad teams, you're going to win more often than not if you play with good coaching and you find a way to
Take advantage of
mitigate
bad
the bad
football.
football.
Yeah. And I mean, point out
that's
too,
what happens.
I mean, wrong opinions now, but there were guys like Orlovsky who weren't as high on Maye and thought he was going to need time to develop. And if he really was a guy that was going to need 2 years to develop, and I'm hearing that, then I'm seriously considering.
And Tom Curran in particular,
Drafting
again,
him.
not to, like Herm said, not to make this a Tom Curran bashing session, because I think Tom does a really good job. Plus, I'm a little afraid of him, and I don't want him to headbutt me. But with Tom, like, he was a big advocate of they're not ready to take a quarterback. The roster's not ready, not talented enough around him to
hated
take a
that
quarterback,
argument.
which I don't. I another argument that Fred and I think all of us were against, but there's logic to that argument. It doesn't mean, just because we don't agree with it doesn't make it wrong. It's a different way of looking at it. I feel like the quarterback is the hardest thing to get.
It's wrong.
And when you have an opportunity to get it, like you did in that class,
yeah.
I think passing up one of those 6 guys to me would have been reckless to draft Marvin Harrison Jr., which a lot of people wanted to do.
Or Joe Alt.
Joe Alt, another one.
Yeah.
Tremendous player, Joe Alt.
Yeah.
Right?
A lot of people wanted
A lot of people
do the
thought-
draft before the quarterback, right? Where you
Right. Draft the players, then get the quarterback
right,
later.
Right. Draft Joe Wall, draft this guy, and then in 2025, draft the quarterback. But,
And I think there's a lot of examples of teams that have tried to do it that way that are still looking for the quarterback.
Yep.
and I'm not saying this to like victory lap, but I think that it was very clear to a lot of people that quarterback class was really, really good. And you don't get that every year where there's three legitimate, like I think that Drake May, Jaden Daniels, and Caleb would have gone number 1 overall if they were in separate drafts, right? Like if they each were in 3 separate drafts, they're probably all 3 of them were number 1 overall pick caliber prospects. And we see that, last year. Like it wasn't really Cam Ward goes 1 overall, but Cam Ward would have been the 4th rated quarterback out of those 3 guys. So when you had that opportunity, you had to take it. And I think that was really the consensus in the end. But that's why I want him to win MVP so bad. Like as much as I want him to win a Super Bowl too, like when you evaluate the player, he's good. It wasn't 100% for everybody. That not everybody thought that he was good. And then he goes and wins an MVP in his 2nd season. Like that's
all the tools. I mean, he had all the tools, and there were some inconsistencies in his game, and I just think he deserves so much credit for cleaning that stuff up and not having those game-changing turnovers, the brain farts, and again going back to the beginning of the season, it was like, is he progressing? But then all of a sudden, after that loss to week 3,
even fixing the sacks, like even though the sack rate is going down,
it's definitely gone down.
So like now, like first it was turnovers. He has the Pittsburgh game, gets that out of his system. Then we make a big deal for a couple of weeks about how many sacks he's taking, and now all of a sudden it's been like 1 or 2 the last like 2 or 3
Remember
weeks.
the keeping the eyes downfield game?
Yeah.
Early in the season too, I think I
better.
remember watching JT O'Sullivan and just talking about his pocket awareness and movement. And I remember in the early part of this season thinking, is he going to be able to get this right? It's not something that's easy. Some part of it feels innate to me. I think Brady was innate on just knowing where one little step to the left. And I'm sure we talked about it on this show, but that to me has just been remarkable. The stepping up in the pocket, the little step to the left, and then still firing it, and you still see moments of little inconsistency, but it's not game-changing inconsistency. It's like, he had a guy, or if he just stepped, but they're so small, it's hard to even nitpick.
The economy of his footwork compared to when he first started.
Yeah. I mean, how much time do we?
The number of steps he has to take to get out of trouble and just make that move compared to last year, where
Remember last year we talked about all the time his footwork. That was a weekly topic on the Drake May footwork.
He would drift into pressure a lot.
Yeah,
even going
drift
back
into
to
pressure.
college.
That was the quote.
And now he would hitch up into the pocket too much. So he'd be hitch
right into somebody's lap.
Yeah, right. And now he's just really good at staying back in the pocket. And when you have that kind of arm talent, you don't need to get all the momentum moving forward. You can sit back a little bit. And he's got that rip through move now at the ball that is kind of become his signature.
Skip and rip.
Yeah.
It's the skip and rip.
Yeah.
I like that. Ted Johnson came up with that.
Right.
And I think it perfectly describes what he does. He did it. He did it in the Cincinnati game for Hunter Henry's touchdown.
Yeah.
One quick thing, talking about the footwork, go back and look at week 1, his first touchdown pass of the season to Demario Douglas in the end zone. And watch his footwork on that play and see how bad it is.
Yeah.
And then watch some of the throws that he's made since. Like something changed.
Yeah, he just got it. Evan, were you downplaying playing at Denver? How important it is?
I never do that.
Oh,
no, that's
Neil
not
in
me.
Utah thinks you were.
No, I've never said
Evan
that
is
before.
underestimating the impact of playing at altitude without proper acclimatization.
I think the Patriots should practice on the top of Mount Washington the week that they.
pretty
It's still
cool.
not high enough. And the deafening crowd noise.
Deafening.
Alex tried to set him straight with the home / road splits, but sounds like Evan is not convinced. I'm not talking about our history there. My first Denver nightmare was 84 to Tupu fumble. I'm just looking at
26-19
facts.
loss.
I'm just looking at facts. Along with Seattle, that is the loudest stadium in the league. Measurable fact.
No, incorrect.
Just forcing
That's actually not a fact.
Just forcing silent counts is a victory for the Denver pass rush, and they're almost guaranteed a couple of false starts each game. And while I understand Evan's confidence in Vrabel to prepare the team, Vrabel can't change the barometric pressure, and you can't acclimatize with an extra day at altitude. Proper acclimatization takes weeks,
A lot of tough words for
not
Freddie.
a day or two. Crowd
They
noise,
flex this. Like,
crowd
this is
noise
like
and
they-
altitude
they've
are
never
real,
lost.
measurable advantages. Denver's talent doesn't scare me, but that environment does.
Okay, so here's a couple things, and I guess we're gonna do this, so we'll do it. Okay.
Start clip now.
What I was trying to talk to Alex about, because he's with the emailer, and what I was trying to tell Alex was like, maybe you guys disagree, like he did. Is Denver's record at home really good because Denver's had some really good runs as a team, or is it really good because they play at 5,280 feet? Like, were they hard to play because John Elway was their quarterback and Peyton Manning was their quarterback for a period of time? Or were
How about Danny Cannell?
or were they no? And maybe Danny Cannell is a
No, your point, your larger point. I'm just chiming in.
because when you look at
being
like the home records in the NFL since 2000, the New England Patriots have the #1 record in the league since 2000 because Tom Brady played here for 20 years. I love Gillette Stadium. Is it this great home field advantage?
it's not a tough place to play.
Right. It's just because the team was really good.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I necessarily I'm not trying to say that it has zero impact. I'm just saying is this like it's a correlation versus causation thing. Like is it hard to play in Denver because of the altitude, or is it hard to play in Denver because Denver's had some good teams and a great quarterbacks?
I would agree with your larger point, and I think Belichick used to spout that a lot. Like, what makes him tough to play there is, and he would rattle off the names at the time, whatever they
Right.
were. I would say that, would you admit that Denver is maybe they're a good team right now? Like, I'm not
Yes.
calling them great. I'm just saying, they've won a lot of games. They're good. So I do think that environment and that oddity of their altitude makes them a little better in that
helps.
building.
It
helps.
helps.
I would also
So
just,
it makes a good team maybe very good.
the other thing that I would just say, like, to me, altitude is an element, right? It's like coming here in
You
January
could get snow.
and
Yeah.
it's snowing.
Yeah, so Miami early in the season.
It's Miami early in the season. So to me, and this happened for 20 years, where a Chargers team would come here and they'd freeze their butts off. What wusses, they couldn't play in the cold. So if the Patriots go to Denver and they lose, and the excuse is that they couldn't breathe because of the altitude, I'm going to say that's an excuse.
Oh yeah, I don't.
Right?
Yeah,
Like that.
okay.
That's not.
But
that's
is
not
it
a reason
but
to
is it
lose.
just a little thing in their favor? I mean, like
Sure, yeah.
Miami wears white when they play down there because of the sun.
Same
Just
exact.
why you do that? Because okay, why not do it?
Exactly.
Why not?
But my point is that it's nothing more than just that.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
It's Miami's heat in September. It's our winters. It's Buffalo's wind in winter. Right. Like it's not. It's
But
an
I
element.
think our winter has helped us win, even in the heart of
like
the
putting-
Brady dominance.
putting the temperature up,
Yeah.
I think
putting
that-
like
I
that
think
stuff, like
that's helped.
reminding teams how
that
cold it is
AFC
here.
game against Peyton Manning when he
Right,
threw 4 picks.
right. Indy coming here
think
as
the
a dome
weather
team.
was a factor.
It's a factor. I'm just saying that I think that the players and the teams on the field and who's better that day at football is more of a factor than Mile High.
I'm just saying
bring logic into this.
Yeah.
the Patriots are 3-0 in Denver since the 2015 AFC Championship game. So
okay.
16,
Now they both
They're
stunk.
4-7 with Brady and Belichick.
Yeah.
well, without Brady, they're 1-1. No, they're 1-0.
Yeah, they beat Russell
They're
Wilson
undefeated in
on the
Boston
Chad,
and
on the
Denver
Chad,
without
on the
Brady.
Chad Ryland field goal on Christmas Eve that everybody is still pissed
Yes.
about.
So that's the other element of this that I'm not going to lie to you. Like I was at that game when Bailey Zappi beat Denver.
Flying back
If
with
Bailey
Sam.
Zappi can beat Denver in Denver and he can survive the altitude,
That's
then
the
I
one
have
to your point. That was a terrible Denver team and a terrible
Yeah,
Patriots
no,
team. and
totally.
Someone had to win
Right,
the game
that's
that
what we-
night. You know,
All right, we're going to take a break. Lots of emails, lots of calls coming in. We'll get to them right after this. Whether you're in the game or betting on the game, you'll need a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots, provides you with everything you need to build your personal betting game plan so you can get in on all the action while practicing safe bets. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn more about all the safe betting tools DraftKings has to offer. Hope is here, 800-327-5050 or gamblinghelplinema.org. Must be 21 plus. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com. Physically present in Massachusetts. See DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
With FedEx One Rate, you can ship to your student for a simple, predictable flat rate. Send a box full of home-baked treats that say, "Your father and I miss you." Or send a box full of instant noodles that says, "Your father and I would like you to stop asking us for money." Either way, one rate fits all. FedEx One Rate. 2-day shipping, one flat rate. Starting at $14.50. Visit FedEx.com/one-rate for details. Exclusions apply.
If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right.
DraftKings is all about responsible gaming. It's more fun when it's for fun. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction.
Christian, how good was it to start the way you guys started? How much talk was that going into this game about getting off to a fast start? Because you certainly showed a lot of energy from the beginning of the game.
Yeah, it was it was good to get out there and get ahead of them quick, and then be able to play from ahead. I mean, that's always good. Shout out to the offense, shout out to Marcus. That always sparks a lot of momentum. I think each game he's returned a touchdown. It just sparked offense and defense. So that's a big part of a weapon we have. So as a defense, it's always either get the ball to Drake or get the ball to Marcus. So it was a good win, good way to come out fast and finish the game.
Christian, how would you describe the impact that Marcus has on the team? I mean, we saw it out on the field, but even going into the locker room as well.
Yeah, for sure. He was voted captain for a reason. He has a voice and he uses it. Everybody, we look to him. Especially in the secondary, we're kind of all, we're real close in the secondary. So, he plays a big role being nickel. He's got to travel around. He's got to do a lot of things. A lot of things are on your plate while you're playing nickel. So, but he handles it amazing. And being in the locker room, he's one of the most energetic guys in there. At 8 a.m, he's in there smiling, laughing, joking. Sometimes I got to tell him, "All right, Mark, you got to calm down a little bit." But he's amazing. So it's awesome, him being in the back seven for sure, and on the team.
Hey, Christian, you guys established a physical tone right from the outset of the game, but there was a period of time when emotions started to spill over a little bit, some extra pushing and shoving. There was a personal foul on the Giants still on the sideline. What was Mike Vrabel's message to you guys in those moments tonight? Or the message in general, in terms of keeping your composure as opposed to losing it.
Yeah, for sure. It's football. Things like that are going to happen. Everybody on the field is super competitive at what we do. And like I said, things like that are going to happen. And it's just, if they get you, you feel like it's late. He always tells us don't retaliate then. Just get them the next play. Take it out on them when it's legal and you're able to do it. So, they've got us well coached to play within the white and the whistles. Yeah.
Christian, Mike has been warning his quarterbacks to be careful going out, along the sideline there because you're in play. What did that hit from Christian do for you guys as far as emotion goes to get you guys kind of going a little bit more?
Oh yeah, that sparked some energy, especially on their sideline. It was a good hit, clean, legal hit. We just can never relax on the football field. So, but Ellis was able to, go over there and make a play, and they retaliated, and it helped us even more. So, it sparked momentum, and it's always fun, being on defense that you know, you got linebackers that are going to go up and hit like that.
Just after what you went through the last 2 seasons, wins and losses wise, what is this experience like, and why is it happening from your view that the team is having so much success?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it goes to just this team is so close. I mean, I've spoke about it from the time Braves came in and sat us down in here and told us he's going to build we're going to build a connection. We're going to build connections and, you know, get close as a team. You know, we got real close, and I mean, it's just able to help us out on Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, whenever it is, and our identity, just being out there, go play physical, and just as a team, go out there, have fun. And at the end of the day, you know, we get to play a kid's game for work. So just, you know, going out there with that joy, you know, he always preaches, go play with that joy and that you know, that fun you had as a little kid. So it's been amazing, but, you know, we got to keep going. Appreciate y'all.
And now, great moments in history.
I'd rather be Damian Harris than Jake Bailey.
No, Damian Harris had barely dressed for games.
I'd rather be him. He's a player. He's a football player.
I know, but he doesn't play.
I don't care. I'm not a punter. I'm not the, you know, I'm not the butt of everybody's
still get
jokes.
a ring.
He makes the team better in practice.
But he asked me which one I'd rather be. I would take either one if I had, you know, to choose between what I'm doing now with you morons or doing. I'd be the punter. But if I had to choose between being a real player and a specialist,
Plus, being the running back for even just 10 plays hurts a lot more.
Oh yeah,
it does. Wait a minute. What do you want? What do you want?
Make a lot of
Everything
money.
with no sacrifice, no pain.
Oh yeah.
You're just playing.
All of a
You're
sudden,
just out there
all of a
playing?
sudden, Paul's Newt Rockney over here with the sacrifice.
That's another great moment from
All right, back here in Patriots Unfiltered, 855-PASS-500 is the hotline. Podcast at patriots.com is the email address. Speaking of emails, Ramon in Tampa says, I've been wanting to say this a while, but it's really hard to write emails. I've learned a lot and improved my writing based on my own and other person's email experience. I've seen emails fail because there wasn't a clear subject without muddled interpretation. Then there is grammatical errors, bad subjects, inappropriate lengths, plus many other factors. So thanks for helping us improve our writing. For those that still feel intimidated, just take the cruise chiding as positive coaching. Good,
Fred's
good, Ramon.
chiding.
I'm glad we could help.
I was going to say that's a Fred.
I think when Fred stops mid-email with exasperation about this email. I don't know what he's saying.
Punctuation, please.
Like, I'm trying to reward you for emailing, and then, you know, I didn't have a chance to proofread it ahead of time, and you screwed me. You know?
Well, that goes back to the
It's a
hosting.
personal
That goes
affront.
back to the hosting thing when you hit like a lull and you're like, oh crap, and I'm just going to jump in on an email, and then you realize you're on like a total turd of an
You
email.
start to read it, and you're
Right.
like, oh, I can't believe I read this one.
So help me out. Help me help you. Dominic's in New York on the hotline. What's up, Dominic? Dominic. Oh, I know you were holding on for a while, but, you know, that's the way it is.
Steak tips.
You must persevere. Jason's in Canada. What's up, Jason?
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
First time, long time. I have a little pretend kind of question for everyone except for Evan, if you don't mind.
Push your mic away.
That's
fair.
I want you guys to pretend that you're the owner of the Patriots and you're very hands off the team. You're just the money. And Mike Vrabel comes up to you and says, I need $30+ million to sign Christian Gonzalez. So you go back and watch the film this year. What's your response?
Here you go.
I think I would do it, yeah.
Why can't I answer? Because I'm curious.
Don't say that
You know too much.
somehow he's managed to cover every receiver on every play all the time.
Oh, okay.
Seemed like a shot.
Oh, yeah, I didn't really understand that, but okay.
So,
Go ahead.
Jason, is there a sort of reason why you're asking? Because you thought that maybe we would say, no, don't do it? Or do you not
Well-
think you should do it?
I mean, they're playing.
Just watching the games this year, he doesn't strike me as a top-tier $30 million corner. He's making all the tackles, but he's also letting them catch every pass first.
Every pass?
Well,
I think
he's
that's
not as good this year, I find, as he has been in years prior.
I think you've been a little. I think you're being a little hard on Gonzalez, and I would probably say on this show, I'm probably the least enthusiastic when it comes to Gonzalez, and I would say he's a terrific player. But to say that he gives up a catch every time and just makes the tackle, I don't think that that's accurate.
And then how many times do quarterbacks not throw his way because he's Gonzalez?
I think he gets targeted really infrequently, and I have to think that's at least part of what Fred's talking about.
So what if I told you that?
What if I told you?
Well, I'm not supposed to answer, but
It's a 30 for 30.
What if I told you that his completion rate into his coverage is lower this year than it was last year?
Yeah, I don't think that they've thrown at him a tremendous amount this year.
Yeah.
Just volume-wise. I don't see him around the ball a lot this year.
I do think that the system adjustment has been an adjustment, and I would agree with Jason that they play a lot more zone now than they have in the past. And I don't know if he's a great zone corner.
Okay, so I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Do you pay somebody over $30 million based on that?
Yeah, I would.
So
I think he's one of the best corners in football.
I agree, but I think that the tiny weeny bit concern is if this is the system that they're going to play, and you want zone corners that have instincts and ball hawking ability that tackle well, like it's not exactly his style of play. Now I do think
but he's added tackling, I think, to his repertoire.
He seems to be catching on to it.
Paul, he's been really good at tackling.
There's one specific tackle that he's excellent at. We saw it Monday night.
Yeah,
when the guy catches the ball and he's not, and no one knows he's there, and boom, he's good at that.
I disagree.
Marcus Jones is a really good tackler. That's a defensive
both
back
can
who
be
can
true.
tackle.
Both can be true. They're both good tacklers.
I don't think that Gonzalez is a really good tackler. I think he dives at ankles and rolls his shoulder over backwards.
I don't care how he does it. He gets them down.
Not generally. The guy for the touchdown, he was involved in that the other day.
I think that's the question is, he's an excellent player.
I agree.
Is he the style of corner that they truly in their heart of hearts want? And if he's not, are you going to still pay that guy $30 million a year to be a little bit of a round peg in a square hole?
Like you can play zone and still you can play what they call man zone. You can have a guy,
I like this,
taking on their best receiver and still play zone.
So nowadays in the league, you don't see a whole lot of spot drop zone because quarterbacks are they're too good. So you don't see a whole lot of just we're taking an area, country spot drop, whatever you want to call it, traditional zone coverage. Most coverages in zone now has some sort of match principles because it's just these offenses and these quarterbacks are just too sophisticated and they're too good to just play traditional zone. So there is that element. Like when you're on the outside, like it might be cover 3 and it might be zone, but you're man to man on your guy, right? But I think the difference with this defense is it's a lot more a disguised zone. Like they like to spin the dial in zone coverage, mix up 1 high, 2 high looks, things like that. And I could see between that and the fact that I agree with Paul, he's not the most physical corner. That's a devil's advocate, argument.
Yeah. Now, I would say, and if we can go back to, and I know you'll remember when Stephon Gilmore first got here.
Yes.
Yep.
We've talked about this a lot on Catch 22.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't have to repeat it. I think they played a lot of zones early on, and he didn't look great.
Yeah.
And they sort of got back to, I kind of in the back of my mind think there's going to be some changes defensively, more consistently when these games become more and more important as we get down the stretch.
Yeah.
So the Buffalo game in week 5, and sorry, dude. So they played 40% man against Buffalo in week 5. And that was the first kind of like, okay, what's your playoff game plan? Like, this is a big game. It's Sunday Night Football against a division rival. Like, what are you going to do? And what they did was they manned up, right? They played man-to-man, and that Gonzalez was back. And
was that also to make sure they had the run taken care of?
Maybe, but I think it was more that they knew that Buffalo's receivers were limited, and they thought they had a clear advantage with Their corners are better than Buffalo's receivers.
Because it can be a little counterintuitive to play a lot of man against Josh Allen. So they obviously felt coverage-wise. I agree with Evan. I think they felt like that was a big game, and they used kind of a different wrinkle.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed listening to Evan talk because I think this is a debate point that's coming, and I've been wondering about it. And I would also
clear it up for you now.
Not cleared up. But this is the tip of the iceberg of it. And is he their type of guy? Is he the aggressive? Like does his personality work against him? And I still err on the side of what Evan got. The point I was going to make was when you get to the caller, wait until you get into the good games and the teams that you need to be able to man up. You're going to want a guy with elite athletic talent that can man up guys. But I do think that this is like a debate that we're going to talk about. Are you going to fork over a boatload if there are some things that you don't love about him?
Also, are we seeing Gonzalez at his 100% right now? Like, is this hamstring kind of nagging him?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen no sign to say that is the case. But I think everything Evan said with the more zone, the playing temperament, and I do think he's improved his tackling. But at the same time,
I just don't think that. I don't think that you don't sign a guy that you think is one of the better players at his position.
Yeah,
I just don't think that's good practice.
I also think that
you land on an elite corner, and
I would like to think that in the off season and this season, I think it's obviously gone way better than anybody could have expected. But this is more about like setting the foundation of the program and getting this thing up and running. I think that they could probably be more man heavy and be better in man coverage with Davis and Gonzo and Marcus Jones. So I wonder if in the off season, does Zach Core get in the lab with somebody that's really a man background, and like, do they try to find better ways to cover in man to man? Because I have had my gripes with the way that they've done it.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if maybe they, get better at it, in the off season, and they kind of, get schooled a little bit on man
who
coverage.
are we talking about? Like, just, off the top of our heads, no research here, but like, Surtain, Stingley, I don't know if Sauce is still in that echelon. I think he's kind of slipped, recently. I don't know. Terrell in Atlanta, AJ Terrell, JC Horn's pretty good in Carolina. Like, where else are we looking? Like, for a guy that you think you feel better about that guy than Gonzalez?
I think the only two that have the case are Stingley and Surtain. I think Surtain's the best corner in the league.
So I'll never understand this for as long as I do this. I'll never understand why fans ever look at it from a money perspective. I understand obviously why teams do, but I never understand why fans will look at it and say, well, I don't want to pay that guy $30 million. Why? You think he's one of the best 5 players in the league at his position.
Yeah.
And I think 5 is conservative. As Evan just said, he's going to only get 2.
Yeah.
Right? So one of the 5 best players in the position, you got to pay him the going rate. That's the going rate. Now, I can understand I don't want to pay, just to throw a guy out there, Tua as a top 10 quarterback in the league, because I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. It's not about the money. I don't think he's that good. I do think Gonzalez is that good.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the best in the game at his spot. So I'm going to pay for that. I want to pay for that.
Yeah, I'd also highlight 2008 to midway through 2012 as a cautionary tale, when the approach was, let's focus on the front 7. We can just get guys like Tyrone Wheatley to play zone corner. And, those.
Oh, I could play the hits at cornerback.
Right. And
Jonathan Wilhite.
Sterling Moore.
And so then, and what happens in 2012? They say, hey, we got to be able to man up.
Julian
These
Edelman.
guys go and get Aqib Talib. And then it's Talib leaves, you go get Revis.
They went from Samuel to Talib with a black hole of wasted possibilities at cornerback.
Yep.
Because they didn't have anybody who could cover.
No
matter how great Brady was, at some point the other team outscored them, and they went home.
Yeah, that's. I mean, when you play elite quarterbacks, you can't just sit in zone coverage. And if you try to play elite quarterbacks and disguise, like, they don't care about the disguises. The disguises isn't going to throw off Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen in a playoff game. It's not going to matter.
Yeah.
So, like, if you have to play man to man, because usually with man, like, it's more about, can the receivers get open at that point than it is about, like, can the quarterback read it out and, like, find the open guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's we'll see. That's
Wait till the
coming.
playoffs. Like it's a really good. I mean, I'm glad. Great question, Jason. Is this something I've been thinking about? But let's wait till after playoffs and see how they use Gonzalez and what Gonzalez does in the playoffs, because I think that's where
You might have a different
you
tune.
see his true value.
And I would say to Jason, I'm not blind. I think there's a chance that they don't re-sign him
or trade him. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, like he doesn't get the extension that he's going to be eligible for the first time will be in this offseason. And I wouldn't be.
And is this
I think I'd be disappointed, but I wouldn't be stunned by it.
Is this the 5th-year option year too? They got to decide on that.
Yeah. But it does seem like their defense is built from the inside out. Like it feels like they like
what's more
D-line, linebacker. Like that's really where they want to build it in the front.
What's
seven.
more likely? They pay him probably at that time the most any corner makes in the NFL, or they franchise him.
I mean, it's interesting. It's just how does this regime approach those kind of things? I mean, there's part of me, they've been very aggressive with, trying to sign big name, talented guys to big deals. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did
the
pony up
contract.
the cash.
Yeah, the extension would be the more likely thing. They ain't going to get to franchise because he'll if they don't sign him for 3 years, he's out.
It's Micah Parsons.
Yeah, he's out. He's not going to sit around for 2 full seasons and then get franchised in the 3rd season. He's not going to do that quiet. I mean, he'll do it quietly.
Yeah.
But he'll be bitching about it.
But is there any? I mean, this is a money question, but is there consideration? You got Drake coming up too, and he's probably going to be the highest paid quarterback in the league.
Well, it's all part of it, but I think he can have both.
Yeah.
Thanks, Fred.
Yeah.
See, that's one thing that we've come to.
I think you can
we've
have
come
both.
to
You can
agreement
figure
with.
it out.
You can definitely have both, but it is part of it.
As Felger says, give me a napkin, I'll show you how.
I mean, I'm talking about a $60 million a year quarterback.
Yeah, he's going to be
by that time,
one of the he's going to be one of the highest paid quarterbacks, and Gonzalez is going to be one of the highest paid cornerbacks. So that's why I will not be stunned.
Who
if
is
it doesn't
Maye's agent? We know.
I don't
know.
No.
I do, but
You
I
do?
don't.
You're not telling?
No, he can't think of it.
Yeah,
Well.
I can't think of it.
Because I can hear, Elliot sits down. Well, when Tom Brady stop. We're not taking that deal. Let's go back to the phones. Christian's in L.A. What's up, Christian?
Hey, you guys. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Yeah.
CAA, Jimmy Sexton, like everybody else.
I thought it was Jimmy Sexton. Didn't want to
No, not like I am never like anybody else.
No, we're not
I was
talking
talking
about
about Drake May's agent.
Side
Sorry,
quest.
Christian, that's my
Side
fault.
quest.
My fault.
Go ahead.
Okay, I could be Drake May's agent. I got two points, and then I want to play a round of Stump the Grump and try to get Paul on 3 of these.
Stump the Grump. I like it.
Red Sox questions.
Stump the Grump. I'm in.
Okay, so first before Stump the Grump, two points. I think we have to get some sort of belated flowers to Gerard Mayo and Milton. What was our Joe Milton last year? I think if Gerard Mayo does not decide to go for the win, and Joe Milton does not decide to play his best game and win, we get the number 1 pick. And I just do not think we would have picked Drake May at the number 1 spot.
Wrong
so we
draft.
can ruminate on that.
It's the wrong draft, Christian. It's wrong draft.
Hmm?
It's the wrong draft.
Drake May did not get drafted in that draft. Will Campbell did.
Will Campbell, I'm sorry. I mean, if we get the number 1 pick, I don't think we pick Will Campbell as the number 1 pick. So I think we have a whole different sort of lineup on the team.
I don't think they would have picked number 1 overall.
Yeah, I mean that's
I
possible.
think they would have traded.
They might have, and they might have been able to trade down, get more picks, and gotten Will Campbell.
Yep.
And others.
That's what I'm saying. Gotten more picks and Will Campbell, or you could have picked somebody else. I mean, maybe you got Armand Membu later on down the road. And
So
he's
what are
been
we
fine.
saying here?
So now, okay, well, I just want to give Gerard Mayo some flowers for trying to win and not giving us that number 1 pick. But Will Campbell, who knows if we would have picked him. But on to
what does Gerard Mayo have to do?
The number 1 pick would have been valuable.
It would have been
It's not,
valuable.
it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing that they didn't get the number 1 pick.
Well, it never is.
All right. So we agree on that. All right.
Stump the Grump. What are you
Oh,
doing?
sorry.
I
sorry. That's
we
all
were
right.
saying Drake May
Yeah.
in the wrong draft.
People
I love you,
complain.
Christian.
Sam's in North
That
Carolina.
remains one of those things that's inexplicable. How many people, and I'm not. This is not picking at Christian because he's one of a lot.
Yeah.
Who have confused those 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Because we blurred them all out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam's in North Carolina. Hey, Sam.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Hey.
Sam.
Hey, yesterday was a good show until Edmund came in. He made it a great show. He really got me fired up.
He did. He had the
we don't
passion
make
yesterday.
the schedule.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't make the schedule. Right now, I can tell you the 14 games we're going to play next year, and then the rest of them fall in place. We earned this last place schedule, and we're kicking everybody's butt. I can't help that.
We earned it by
literally
stinking.
Joe Milton game away from the number
Good
one
job.
pick.
Rod.
Next year, we're playing the AFC West and the NFC North. I can guarantee you can go book that, and then we play 6 games in the AFC East, obviously. Like, it's not our fault. But the silver linings in it is we didn't just go blow everybody out. There was actually some games in there that got a little battle tested. When we played the big dogs, they showed up, they grabbed their balls, and they went home. You know what I mean? On the road. Like, I mean, this team is for real. I don't care what anybody say. Don't tell me that the Giants had multiple double-digit leads in the fourth quarter and lost them and then say, oh, well, it was the Giants. I don't want to hear it. You told me they had multiple double-digit leads. You know what I mean?
The Giants stink. I told you that before the game. That's why I picked the Patriots to win by 2 touchdowns.
Good job, Paul.
Yeah, I did too, Paul. But I'm just saying, everybody else, like, you can't say one thing and they're like, well, it's the Giants. I know it was the Giants, but we didn't make the schedule. And we were going into the bye week on a Monday night. Like, that's the place to lay down. But now they grabbed their balls. They knocked the end off their helmet and made them the New York Giants. And you know what I mean? It's just,
I know what you mean, Sam. I'm with you.
Hey, and I just watching this show, Names with Games. What if we call this game Incomplete Kick?
What was that?
What was that?
I'll take it over here.
I was coughing.
Wait, whoa, hold on. Sam.
Sam! No!
I didn't hear the question.
Something about the Chiefs.
Sam, you're great.
I didn't hear the Chiefs.
I was coughing.
No, I
didn't hear the question.
Joe's in Pennsylvania. Hey, Joe.
Hey, guys. Love the show.
Thank you.
My question is just about the Pro Bowl
can't do
voting
that.
and potential All-Pro selections. And like Drake Maye that we're talking about him, MVP, he's number 1 in Pro Bowl voting. So is he almost like a shoo-in then for All-Pro?
I would think. I would think he's got a really good shot for All-Pro, but Stafford could get it.
That's an AP thing, right? Like the AP vote.
There's one.
Yeah.
So I believe
there can only be one.
NFC, AFC?
So I believe last year Lamar Jackson was the All-Pro
and I think,
why can I not think of Josh Allen was the MVP?
Yeah, and
so it is possible.
That was the first time in a while that they haven't been in lockstep. Usually it's the same voters, so it really doesn't make any sense.
It's almost like they wanted to get Josh Allen an MVP, and then they said, but really, Jackson had a better year.
Well, I like maybe in the spirit of what an MVP is versus an
You could make the
All-Pro, you
argument.
can make the argument.
Yeah, I don't think it's that illogical. I don't think it's that illogical, but yes, I would. If Maye wins MVP, I would expect him to be the first team All-Pro, but
at least be first or second team All-Pro.
It's not a lock. Yeah, and to me, first team is the only team. But
And the other day I saw, like, with top 10 voting for cornerbacks, for AFC-wise, it seemed Marcus Jones was the second AFC and Gonzalez was number 3. Do you think Marcus Jones is going to make it as a corner for AFC?
As a corner.
Yeah, so I was trying to I don't think the Pro Bowl does this. AP might do slot corner. So they might differentiate outside corners and slot corners. Because I think they do the same with receivers too now. There's 3 receivers instead of 2.
I think you're right on the receivers.
So if I'm right about that, then Marcus Jones as the slot corner specifically definitely has a case to be an All-Pro.
He had a good
corner.
year. Yeah. I mean, I think he's an All-Pro punt returner. So just like, can he make All-Pro at 2?
You can.
Well, yeah, I mean, at 2
some
spots.
guys have made it at 2 spots on the same side of the ball.
Yeah.
Like they put him as defensive end and at linebacker, and he makes the All-Pro team in both spots. Yeah.
You have to be pretty good to do that.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I think
Joe.
it was like Khalil Mack in his prime or something like that.
Mike in Florida, he says, why fans worry about money? You know how we say, well, what are you worried about? It's not your money. He says, it's not because they care about the money, but because they consider a big expenditure on the wrong guy / overall scheme versus other guys out there that might be better for the team. So
you don't want the player.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not why I worry about
That
money.
makes total sense to me. That email makes total sense to me. I think he might not be a scheme fit, or that's why we walk away from Kyle Duggar, because we didn't think he was necessarily the right fit in the scheme.
Yep.
I worry about money because I understand that everything has a budget.
Sure.
So, like, if you're given
If that means you can't get something else, then you
Right.
have to consider it.
that, I don't worry about the money for any other reason besides it's a business, and like you realize that someday you wake up and realize like this isn't a never-ending piggy bank here that just keeps going and going.
No, but that's like, we're talking like the cash out kind of thing.
Yeah.
In a particular time. Like they put out a lot of cash this particular offseason. They did.
Yeah.
I know, the narrative is how cheap everybody is around here, but the Patriots spent a lot of cash this offseason on a lot of free agents. I don't think it's probably likely that they do it again this coming offseason because of what Evan's talking about. Everybody has budgets.
Yeah.
That's cash out. That has not like, it's not like, oh, we can't sign him to a 5-year deal because our cap is going to be in a bad situation. No, it's this one particular year. It might stop you from getting 3 other guys that you might have wanted to get because I don't have the cash to lay out for signing bonuses, which are going to entice a free agent. That is different.
It scares me. It scares me because I think looking at the schedule next year and how the team will be viewed by the rest of the NFL, I think you need to take a big step forward this offseason. I think you cannot think, we got
from the Super Bowl.
Yeah, from the Super Bowl. It's like 03, where you went and got Corey Dillon. And and maybe not a money, but you continue to evolve and change the equation. Whereas if this team tries to stay pat and they have a lot of these guys coming, they have holes, but you have to improve, I think, in the spring with the roster. Because teams are going to be gunning for you next year. The schedule's tougher. You're going to have to play better teams.
Yeah, and I'm not suggesting they're not going to acquire
No, I know, but
any
you're
players.
right. You're right, and I think that it puts some pressure on guys like Elliot Wolf and Ryan Cowden to identify good players like they did this year who aren't going to break the band necessarily.
It's like $26 million a year, like Milton Williams.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I'm not expecting that.
Yeah,
I do
You know what I
wonder
mean? I'm not
if
expecting they're going to set the market as that he was the highest paid defensive tackle in free agency.
I do
right?
wonder though if it is like one splash.
Yeah.
Like, do they make that one trade or
Defensive
that one
end,
AJ Brown?
Yeah, AJ Brown.
Something like that. I would not rule that out.
Yeah.
I would not rule something like that out.
It's funny you read my mind, Paul. If I had to put a guess on who it would be him.
Yeah,
I like the trade. I like the trade thing.
Yeah.
Because
So
that's,
I'm not saying I'm
less
eliminating
about
the possibility
hard
of them
cash.
improving because
Yeah.
I think that I don't want to go down this rabbit hole again, okay? But I think Mike is trying to say, and I'll say
It's
it
gonna get
for
harder
you because
next year?
because you're nicer than me, and I'll just say it, okay? I don't think that they look at this team as being as talented as some of the other teams. And they think if they just sit tight and stand pat, they won't be good enough next year when the level of competition increases.
Yeah.
So they're going to need to get better.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's
And
also
I think that they know that.
the thing working in their favor is you have Drake May now. You have some reasons for people to want to come here. So maybe that can help grease the wheels a little bit. But
Because if they get better, they could have been 13-0 this year.
But you
Or
get
11-2.
But Drake May, and that's why like AJ Brown comes up
Fred.
as
Right.
Vrabel too,
Fred.
right? And
They lost to the Raiders. You don't think they could have been better than 11-2?
You can't win them all.
I understand.
Only in 07.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they lost to two, one really bad team and one really mid team.
I know.
But I think
they didn't have their
I
footing
need to say it right now, and this is something they could very likely have a worse record next year, but be a better
team. No doubt.
We say that
happens
a lot.
all the time.
Yep. Zach and Cincy wanted to highlight the fact that with Gonzalez playing, the team is not lost. Not that he gets all the credit because overall the defense is performing well as a unit. Run D misses Milt. Looking at the rest of the season, including playoffs, it seems that Christian has a clear advantage on other teams' wide receiver ones. We could go on a stretch where the best wide receiver we face is Cortland Sutton. What wide receiver matchup scares you guys? The inevitable Super Bowl matchup against the Rams?
Yeah. He's right, though. But I just think Gonzalez generally is an awesome athlete. And whether you're asking him to man up one of the best wide receivers in the game or an average wide receiver, he's going to do a pretty good job. And I got a lot of confidence in him. I like the debate.
I don't worry about him. I worry about how they use him. Like I do, and I'm not saying that in like against every run of the mill coordinator, but like he brings up Puka in the Rams in the Super Bowl. Like
Devontae Adams.
Sean McVay against Zach Core in a Super Bowl is politely.
Yeah.
You know,
you can't change to all zone this time.
So like, you know, like what do you,
That's really the way you switch it up.
what does it look like if he goes up against Sean McVay, if he goes up against Andy Reid, if he goes up against Ben Johnson, you know, like.
Yeah. The pregame might have Zach Core going up to Sean McVay. It's like the way you put guys in motion.
That was cringe, Sean.
You use those three tight ends.
That is awesome.
You throw out of those three tight end looks.
When Puka's releasing through the C gap.
You should have had like Bill on the inside. Where do you see what we got in store for you tonight? You're right. Bill's sitting on like, we changed our whole defense going into this game. You have no idea.
I don't want to think about it.
Joby writes in, back to the Denver conversation. I moved from Boston to Boulder, Colorado in the late 90s and stayed a few years before departing to California. I was a bike racer, and when I first got to Cali, I crushed other riders in my category. I think the Bronco players may have an aerobic advantage over C-level players that may come into play at times. So he's saying that.
Well, so like the Olympic teams train there, right? Like that's where like the U.S. Olympic headquarters is.
Yeah, there's a reason why.
Right?
Yeah, I ever told you my story about going to Colorado and biking and
no.
Oh, should I tell the story?
Biking?
Why not?
Okay. No, so back in the 90s,
Gather around,
I was
children.
working this other project. we wanted to start this business for getting all the national governing bodies of Olympic sports onto one website so fans could go and blah, blah. So myself, an Olympic silver medalist named Eric Flame. He was a silver medalist in long and short form speed skating. Only guy to ever do that. And this other guy, Rob Kramer, who raced bikes, you know. So the three of us went out. We met all day in Colorado Springs with the different national governing bodies. And at the end of the day, I said, you know, we had a good day. Let's go rent some bikes and we'll go out, you know, biking in these mountains.
Oh boy.
15 minutes in, I've already gone over the handlebars. My chest felt like it was going to come out of my body, and I was just like, "You guys just go." I just couldn't do it. I couldn't breathe. I was blood everywhere.
Oh man,
it was just like, "Go, just go."
You flipped the handlebars.
Yeah.
You all right? Stitches? Anything?
No. I just my face and my knuckles.
What was the name of that?
Eric Flame.
No, but the company that.
Oh,
was that the UCast?
No, Us Teams. U.S. teams.
Yeah.
Us teams. People called it Us teams. But it was called
U.S. teams, and Brian Moore used to go Us Teams
yeah,
radio.
It was U.S. teams. Yeah. So we were trying to do this.
I knew there was a joke.
But the burn is real. And back then, this is like
real.
30 years ago. So I wasn't like I am now. I was in decent shape. And my lungs were burning.
Yeah.
Burning.
What about the Olympic guys? Were they having
they
any
were
issues?
like, so I just,
right back
so I was just kind of like, after
Fred
they
guy.
left, I was just kind of pedaling along on the flatlands, and I see them up on the cliffs, and they're like jumping from one thing to another, like they're doing all this stuff, no problem. Yeah.
I don't know. I walked around Denver and I felt fine.
You walked around. Okay.
Yeah, I walked around. I literally remember walking around Denver on Christmas Eve morning on the phone with Jess, being like, "It's not that bad. I don't know what everybody's talking about."
I totally did the same thing that she's talking about. The first time I was in Denver, I walked and I was like, "I don't know, it's overrated. What are they talking about?"
I can breathe.
I never even jogged, let alone run.
It's making me think though, how high?
But I was joking.
Is where Air Force Academy, is that in Colorado Springs?
Colorado Springs.
So is that also
That's
a
up
mile
there.
high, or is it not quite like?
I don't know.
I gotta check this.
Yeah, it's up there.
We're all so worried about this that I think we should go early, Fred. I think the team should fly out on
You can't acclimate.
on like
in a week.
Wednesday.
You can't. It takes more than that.
Oh God,
Yeah.
we're never gonna win in Denver. We're cursed.
Wow, it's 6,000.
Oh my God,
6,033.
How do they even breathe up there? It's unbelievable.
Because it's
Well,
like
they're pilots.
Well, Air Force, like their football record's really
they're
good.
closer to the
I
sky,
heard.
is what the thinking is. But I
Actually, it's pretty good.
I told the story. We had our
necessarily this year.
pregame skate at Air, and my feet hurt. I had to get up there. But we played 2 games then the next day and the day after that. I didn't really notice any difference.
Oh yeah.
I was an elite athlete though, of course. So
Well, especially
PP2.
My point.
Manning PP2.
But
Mason Lawyer.
No, but
PP2 is
I'm
doing
just
fine.
wondering.
Right.
I'm just wondering. You know, in hockey you do shifts.
Yep.
So maybe because you do shifts, you have that chance to recover.
Yeah.
Where
That's
it's
the key.
Yeah.
It's
Shifts.
not. It's
Get
not,
that rotation going. Gonzalez, you're out. You're out.
Get this offensive line out. Let's put
I'm sorry.
OL2 in.
Right.
I watched Nikola Jokic run down that floor in Denver all the
But
time.
not very fast.
And he's very out of shape, and he still manages to do it.
Basketball players are weird. I don't know. They're
He
so
doesn't
real.
even jump
So
when he
gangly.
shoots. Come on, he doesn't exert any
He might
energy.
be the best player, like top 5 player of all time. It's like, I knew.
All right, let's go back to the phones. We'll
dad
go
bod energy.
to Mark in Connecticut. Hey, Mark.
Hey, everyone. Happy bye week.
Thanks, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Evan, I tried to catch you on the Catch-22, but everybody else can chime in on this as well. It would be awesome to have a number one receiver, but do you think that it would mess with the chemistry in the locker room? Because right now we have a really good abundance of a whole bunch of 2s and 3s, I call them, for receivers, and they mesh really well, chemistry-wise, with Drake Maye. Do you think by bringing in a prima donna that would mess with it?
I think if they did it this
now?
like in season, like if they had done this at like the deadline,
Yeah.
then I think that would be different. But
Would have been a
not-
concern mid-season.
Not the off season.
I think you've established some culture now that if you were to bring a guy in, that you have the foundation to support it.
Well,
you know?
plus, just don't fall into the trap of what happened this year, so that will be the case next year.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like right now, that room has been tremendous.
And Diggs came in with the reputation for that, and it hasn't been that at all.
Winning.
It's a salve.
But it can lead to the other way too. Like, I was really important. They wouldn't have won without me. I need more. Like that happens. That's a natural athletic, phenomenon. It happens all the time. All these guys that were subjugating their egos in their minds, like, well, yeah, I did that last year. We had success doing that. Now I want mine.
Yeah.
So next year you might not
Appreciate it,
have
guys.
this. You might not
Have a
have the
good bye
same.
week.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah.
Appreciate the
All right.
It's just something to balance
Thanks, Mark.
for sure.
But yeah, I would agree that if they had put someone, if they could have gotten the A.J. Brown thing this year, and I still would have done it, but if they could have done that this year at the deadline, that would have been part of the cons.
Yeah.
Like, does this disrupt everybody? How is this perceived in within that room, within the offense, the locker room in general?
Yeah.
Diggs is the undisputed leader of that group.
Might be the leader of the team.
Does he take any offense to that, like mid-season? We'll never know because it didn't happen.
He might be like towards the bottom now that at this point of his career. But I think Diggs is number one wide receiver.
I think he has been, and I would kind of agree with Mark that like heading into the season, I was like, no, he's the best they have, but he's not really a number one. He's played well enough to be a number one.
Yeah. He just catches everything.
You
number
don't
one
like
stuff.
that.
But 1.5.
But is he a weapon?
Is he a weapon?
1.5 is not a
So,
weapon.
I think on third down he is.
Yeah, I was going to say when Drake really needs it, he's been a weapon.
Yeah.
I just
What's wrong with that?
Third
You got
and
a problem with
third
that?
and fourth downs,
No,
he's been.
You got a problem with moving the sticks?
I'm just asking the question.
Just asking.
Sounds like you got a problem with it.
No.
You talking about
Why does it sound like that?
Sebastian, he's on exit 153 in New Jersey.
Sorry.
Paulie, yesterday,
Sebi.
you disagreed with me that the team let the foot off the gas in the second half. Maybe my writing skills need refinement, but to be clear, I think this was the best version of the team we've seen in all three phases, but they didn't play at that level all game. I don't think it was a conscious decision on the part of the team, but it was a lack of execution. I want to see them play like they did in the first half the entire game. Now, do you still disagree with me?
I do. I think they played an exceptionally good second half as well as first half. Now, if you want to get nitpicky execution-wise, yeah, Gonzalez misses a field goal. Like, that's poor execution. Like, so to your point, I guess I agree with you. They didn't execute quite as well in the second half, but I think that they did everything that they wanted to do in the second half. I think they accomplished their plays and executed now they were different plays. We weren't throwing bombs all over the place in the second half because they didn't need to. But I think that they executed and chewed. I think there was a possession in the fourth quarter that they went like 40 yards and chewed up like 7 minutes of clock, 6.5 minutes
like
of clock.
A 13 play drive.
That's exactly what I want to do. Like, that to me is executing. I don't care if I score, I had 30 in the first half. I don't need 30 in the second half.
Plus, read the room. Vrabel could have said, we expended a lot of energy in that first half. Energy that, we probably had to find somewhere because we're running out of gas here getting into the bye. I'm factoring that into how we did the second half. And if I have the opportunity, like I did, like Paul said, to kind of milk clock, I'm going to take it rather than ask these guys to be, all out like they were in the first half.
I think the one of the most like sneaky good things about Mike Vrabel is understanding like how to choke out a team and like how to like truly end the game. Because I think what the emailer is saying, I think a lot of teams fall into that trap. And they they keep throwing like crazy, and they keep going bombs away, and it's either turnovers or quick 3 and outs, and all of a sudden you got a game on your hands. It's just there's been more blown leads this year than any other year in like the last like decade.
So I'm just looking at the drive chart. The second half drives, they really had 3 drives in the second half. They chewed up 6:36, 4:08, and 5:27. They had the ball for 17 minutes of the second half. That's dominance. Like, they did exactly what they wanted to do. They didn't need to score 30 more points. They needed to run the clock out.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why I was a little critical of them throwing the ball at the very end. In my view, trying to get another touchdown that didn't need to be scored. I don't care that they only scored whatever points in the second half. They scored 3 points?
Yeah.
I don't, they didn't need any points. Now, again, from an strictly semantics from Sebastian's email, they didn't execute quite as well because they missed a field goal and they didn't get a touchdown. They got a penalty and got a touchdown call back. So that's not as good of execution as in the first half. But I think what they wanted to do, I don't think they let their foot off the gas. I think they wanted to choke them out, and they did.
Sebastian also has a hot take. I don't want Campbell to return after he's eligible to return. I would sit him until the AFC Championship game to make sure it's worth bringing him back and potentially making his injury regress or make it worse. And yes, it can get worse if his whole knee buckles on the field.
I want him to return when he's healthy enough to return. I don't know that that's going to be.
We can save him for the AFC Championship.
I don't know that that's going to be this year.
Is that Will Campbell's music?
Yeah, if the doctor says he's healthy enough to play, then I want him to play, even if that's the Miami game, the meaningless Week 18 game.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to get him if he's healthy.
I don't think that he's going to be able to play in that game, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to play in the playoffs. But if the doctors clear him, I want him playing. Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't everybody else?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why would we sit him?
I was just happy to see him in the locker room yesterday.
Mike came in after I saw him in the locker room. He was so happy.
Have you seen him yet since then?
No.
See, Evans and Greg I haven't seen him yet.
I saw him on Friday when we all walked in there, but maybe it was in one of those other rooms that we're not supposed to look into.
Yeah. No, you're just walking through pipe and drape and going in the back there.
Oh, I didn't walk through pipe and drape, Mike. I stay on the other side.
You keep better.
I do have to remind myself every once in a while that like if we see them like on the plane or like on the buses or whatever, that like
oh yeah, I saw him.
People will ask me like, oh, is he in a cast or whatever, and I'm like, nope, can't tell you. Sign an NDA.
Smart man.
Sign an NDA.
I always had a rule.
Smart.
And actually,
anything that I saw, it was my self-imposed rule. Anything that I saw strictly because I work here was off.
Right. Yeah. And that's not a rule. That's a mandate. Interesting.
It was my rule.
Interesting email from Carol in Georgia. First of all, she says, I use Grammarly to write this email.
Same.
So thank you.
It's not just the greatest
He
season.
said, according to the soccer teams in Brazil, that's very high altitude.
Oh, yeah.
The best strategy is to arrive to play just before the game. The body takes some hours to feel the altitude, so you must use this interval to play. I don't know what will happen after, but the players in Brazil are alive and fine. I don't know.
I have heard that. Now, you do have to be there the day, like it's an NFL rule that you have to be there the day before.
Right.
So there's nothing that you can't fly in the day of the game. Not that you would want to, but you can't. So, yeah.
Especially with that length of a trip.
Yeah.
We gotta save this altitude talk. Like, they're not playing Denver anytime soon.
No, I know.
I started this.
You might
no, but I'm saying the whole how to deal with it. This is if they're playing Denver in the playoffs, this is what the whole week is going to be.
Yeah.
But also,
we gotta save some of this good stuff.
I think the other thing too for me with this is like, it's going to be the AFC Championship game. And like at that point, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah,
Well, not according to you yesterday.
You're gonna be playing a good team. It's gonna be high stakes. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
So like wherever you're playing it, you're in the AFC Championship game. Like that's pretty
you
awesome.
lift all them weights.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Really quick bone to pick with the referees, which I know that Paul will like
going
this.
down Paul's side of the street now.
I don't know. The email before this made me think this. They kept on calling penalties and assigning the penalty to the wrong player.
They did that several times.
They did it. I've never seen
75.
It's almost like Scott Hansen was doing the
I haven't seen anything like that before. So they called a hold on Bradbury when the hold was actually on Ben Brown, and then they called the illegal motion that wiped out. It was because they were talking about the Henry
3-point
touchdown.
stance thing.
They called it on 75.
Yeah. I think it was Ben Brown again. Actually.
No, it was Hunter Henry.
Oh, it was Hunter.
Yeah, he didn't.
I think it was 80.
Well, it happened so fast.
Hunter Henry didn't come set before they snapped the ball.
Which is the penalty of 2025. Like the penalty of 24 was the tackle being in the backfield that got called like 15 times a game. This is the penalty this year. It drives me insane. I don't understand why it's even illegal to go in motion and not,
come to a full stop.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on if it's motion or a shift.
Correct.
Because if you're in motion, if you're off the line of scrimmage in motion, you can be in motion. But once you go to set back onto the line of scrimmage, you have to come to a full stop.
And I understand the whole two guys in motion thing. I just like that's not confusing anybody. Like the whole Miami Dolphins thing that's not like, oh, he was moving. Like that's not what the problem was. The problem was they were like lightning.
Mm-hmm.
That was the hard thing about Miami when they were rolling and when McDaniel first got there.
But it was on. It was on the. It was called an illegal shift.
Yeah.
And they assigned it to like 75, and I was like, that player does not like. What are we talking about? But really small thing like that illegal motion penalty is on Drake. Like it's on the quarterback to tie up the cadence with the shift and make sure that Hunter Henry gets set before they snap the ball. But I just I knew that was up.
He also used an incorrect signal on a penalty, and I forget what it was now.
It was brutal.
I think it was an illegal man downfield, and he did the wrong signal, but I forget.
Amir has a good billboard in case the Patriots win the AFC East.
For the Bills?
For Buffalo?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also it should say we'll take it from here. I
man,
like that.
That's good.
I like that.
That's great.
Good, Amir. Good.
We're gonna start a GoFundMe for this.
I remember some guy like trolling Bill with billboards along Route 1, one of the Sports Hub caller personality people. But why doesn't he call? They better do that to Buffalo too.
If Mr. Kraft wants to fund it, he can be like a silent. We won't tell anybody the money's from him, but we'll just.
I might have done that a few times.
Do it for him.
Reno writes in, I'm not seeing this overly scary defense from the Broncos either. They're really good, but they're not unstoppable or shut down people like people want to believe. Their offense is mid at best with wild inconsistencies because of Knicks. So, yeah, I agree with Evan. I'd be fine seeing them in the playoffs, home or away. Let's not forget we're undefeated in away games at this moment. By the way, I love that Evan has become a mixture of Eric and Big Head. He gets very pouty like Eric and hot-headed like Andy. Paul, please keep starting the arguments with everyone, and Fred, please continue to instigate. P.S. Not saying we can't lose to the Broncos, just saying we can win too, and not scared to play them.
No, I was told we can't win.
My only feeling on this is like I would just kind of prefer not to play in Denver, but I don't really care. And otherwise, there's no teams that I really don't think the Patriots have a chance against in the AFC.
They don't even have the best defense in the conference.
Jeremiah is also with Evan.
Into it at this point.
I'm with Evan. I'm so tired of hearing everyone's nightmares about Denver. I don't think our fan base just has to stare at the Broncos logo and clench their fists as they yell, "I'm not afraid of you anymore." Home games in general have benefits, especially Denver's, but I don't think that team is good enough to have those factors sway the game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you could say I'd prefer not to play on the road generally. I mean, it's just you'd much rather be at home.
Make sure we
do you think the Patriots are good enough
to
have anything sweat like that they would benefit from being at home?
Sure.
So why wouldn't you think that Denver would?
I think the only way the Patriots benefit from playing at home is if
But the question
they draw
is,
like
Paul,
the Chargers or the Jaguars.
The question is, Paul, are teams, or more importantly, are teams' fan bases scared of playing the Patriots in Gillette?
I don't think that anybody in the AFC should be afraid of anybody.
I'm talking about fan
AFC.
bases.
Yeah, I don't think any fan base in the AFC should be afraid of playing anywhere against anybody.
That's all.
It's a completely flat conference.
That's all.
It has been the whole year.
Yeah.
No one's really been able to, dominate.
And a lot of the parts we're talking about are unproven teams. Like if it was Tom Brady and that old Patriots team, like, yeah, I don't want to go to Foxborough, but what do you know about Bo Nix in the playoffs? You know, what do you know about Tom Brady in the
I mean, at least Bo Nix played in the playoffs.
Like
but
he's played, but
you know, they didn't really. I mean, he threw a bomb for a touchdown in the first drive, and I think he did nothing the whole rest of the game.
I just am, and this is not even a Denver thing. It's just an overall thing. I just think that the home field advantage thing is becoming really overrated across the NFL. It just, for the past like 5 to 10 years, there really isn't a huge discrepancy. Home road splits and things like that. I just think that it's become a little bit overrated in terms of a talking point. And I don't think anybody was necessarily worried about playing here. I think they were worried about playing Tom Brady.
Yeah. So, but the elements, I mean, I would say the elements, like ideally Peyton Manning doesn't want to come here when a snowstorm. I mean, ideally.
With the swirling winds?
Yeah,
No, but I mean, I think
everywhere there's something.
I think Mike is right. I think if you were going to play Tom Brady, you want to play him in like hot weather.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to play him in the snow. He never lost in those conditions. Yeah. Like that was part of it. Now, you don't want to play Brady anywhere. Because Brady's, you know, we used to joke about this. Brady's record indoors, Brady's record outdoors, Brady's record when it's under 30 degrees. Like Brady dominated no matter what the conditions were.
Down by a touchdown going into the fourth quarter, dominates.
But I would rather play Brady if I'm an opponent in conditions that I like.
Yeah.
I know Brady's going to be great regardless of conditions. So if I can match him, I need my conditions.
Yeah, and that's why I like
playing in January here. You know, for Peyton Manning, that's not ideal.
And I like Evan's point of the Chargers or the Jaguars, you know, having to come up here in January, not ideal.
But Baltimore, they didn't care.
They don't.
Yeah, they didn't
because they like those conditions.
Like a honey badger.
They don't care.
Right.
Zach from doesn't say where. Eric wouldn't like that. Has a little would you rather thing.
Okay.
Would you rather, option A, Patriots win their remaining 4 games with resounding wins over the Bills and Ravens and get the number 1 overall seed after a first-round bye. They lose to the Chiefs in the divisional round. Option B, Patriots go 2-2 in their final 4 games, losing to the Bills and the Ravens. They beat a middling team like the Jaguars in the wild card round, then lose a game to the Chiefs in the divisional round.
Win a playoff game.
So
I'll take option B.
Win a playoff game. I mean, both ways you're winning the AFC East, which
and
to
both
me is
ways
the
I'm
number
losing
1.
in the divisional round to Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
win a playoff
one of them
game.
you have a playoff game win.
Drake May won a playoff game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Get the division. That's my first goal. Get the division. Like
Well, the division's over.
You know, I know it's officially
I think
over,
either
but
way
like
you won the
until it's
division,
over,
right?
right.
Also, the Patriots are back to their winning ways, and I love to bring back the tradition of buying you guys lunch.
Is that what it was?
We as listeners can't forget tradition as it harkens back to the days when Zolak would stop by, and even back to the original Patriots Cafe shows. Wow, you remember those?
Wow.
What's that?
Back in the day, I'll tell you in a second. If the new studio isn't conducive to eating food, I'm happy to buy lunch on an off day. No, so back in the
that's
days,
an OG listener.
when the World Wide Web first started, in the old stadium, they had the club, which doubled as where the Patriots ate their lunch. So during lunch, we'd set up and do a live show with Don Lowry, who was Stacey James before Stacey James. Actually, he was his boss at the time. And we would drag guys from lunch and interview them during their lunch.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Patriots Cafe.
Yeah,
Bologna sandwiches.
Cool. Yep.
Yeah.
So
you get relaxed over a meal, you know, hang out. Would they be eating one there, or you just grab them like after they eat?
Yeah, when they're done.
Yeah.
It's a shame that we don't have those tapes.
Oh yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I don't know where they would be.
I don't know. It's funny. A quick story. Had the chance to interview Nancy Maye for the 85 Project, and she had a funny story. She was saying how different things were. You know, she's saying players back then they had other jobs. Like the season would end, they would go to like their other job, and then they work, and then the season they come back. But she said that they never got swag. They never had. She's like, if players had like 2 T-shirts that said Patriots on them, they were doing well.
Well, here that was definitely the case. I know that.
They didn't have to work second jobs in other places.
No, I'm telling you, if a guy needed another jersey, they'd have to buy it. I'm serious.
Really?
I'm serious.
It's crazy. But she said one of her best memories from that 85 season and going to the Super Bowl was that her and all the admin staff all got outfitted in jumpsuits and sneakers from Reebok, which at the time my dad was working at Reebok, and she said, what sparked my memory was like, there's a picture somewhere of all of us in our Reebok stuff, and I was so excited, and I've looked everywhere for that picture, and I don't know where it is. So it's somewhere around here. There's got to be some kind of archive with all this stuff in it. That I'm sure a lot of people like to get their hands on.
So it used to be bad, and they used to accuse the old equipment manager before Donnie Brosher, this guy Longo, of having like an underground economy where he would sell extra socks to guys and keep the money and everything.
Stick would never.
Yeah.
Well, now it's it's those new T-shirts and new sweatshirts, and they're like randomly getting sweatshirts and T-shirts made with sayings on them, and you can't escape sweat.
I know. Eldred's in North Carolina on the hotline. What's up, Eldred?
There it is. Whoa.
Hey, fellas, how y'all doing?
Awesome.
Good. Better than that guy that just swerved into the guardrail.
Eldred.
We hear you great.
Ain't nobody here. Evan, I'm going to rattle your chains, bro. I'm one of them ones, like I said, if the greatest on 4 out of 11, 4 for the 7 up there, I don't want to play there. But if you listen to David Andrews, and I think it was him and Hoyer Pat Chat, that podcast, he'll tell you why he was sick for 2 weeks after going up there. And it's the atmosphere.
Yeah, but that had nothing to do with it. No, Andrews had a bug.
Yes.
Yeah, he was really sick.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole thing.
But I don't think it was altitude related.
He said it was attitude or something else.
He should
I'm
know
not
better.
telling you it's not a factor. I'm just telling you that it's not impossible.
I remember that. We spent
blood clots.
we spent a week out there.
The blood clots was 2019.
No. This was we had a week.
The best that ever did it.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
No, we had a week out there, and I remember he got really sick. Yeah, couldn't make the second leg of the game. Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly. And like I said, the best that ever did it, 4 out of 7 up there. I love Drake Maye. I love Grable. I don't want to play there. Come down to our house. I'd rather play him here. And that's
so would I.
Well, everybody would rather play him here.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Eldred. Yeah.
I do. And I think it's, Paul said, we'll get to it when we get to it, which he's right. But if you look at Denver's last 4 games of their schedule, it's Packers, Chiefs, Chargers, Jaguars are their last 4 games. The way that they get the number 1 seed, other than they have the tiebreakers over the Patriots. So if both teams win out, then Denver's going to be the number 1 seed. But I don't think Denver's winning out.
Yeah. But winning out. But what if both teams go 2-2, or in Denver's case, 3-2?
It depends on
the tiebreaker.
That's why I always say don't just blanket tiebreaker. They have the tiebreaker.
So I believe
the tiebreaker now.
If it's AFC opponents, if they
believe
lose to the Chargers, that means something.
Well, I believe it wouldn't matter, because as long as they beat the Raiders, they'll have the common opponent tiebreaker. And then the Patriots' last 4 games are all against the AFC. So if the Patriots,
not common opponents,
that makes sense.
But they're all, but it's conference record is more important.
Okay.
So if they go 2-2 in the last 4 games of the season, then Denver's it's gonna be Denver with the tiebreakers.
So
that's the.
So it's would you say the Chargers? The Chiefs, Jacksonville,
Green Bay.
The Patriots didn't play any of those teams. So.
No, it's about the AFC. It'll be about the conference record.
Yeah. Mike's in New York. What's up, Mike? Mike. It's Wednesday, hump day. Where are you? He's gone.
Hump day.
All right. That's okay, Mike. You're going to get another chance.
Touched on a lot of different topics today.
It is interesting,
Patriots
though.
Cafe.
All the odds that it really seems, based on what I've seen, it's Patriots or Broncos. That's the 1 seed, right? It's
the Patriots.
Those are
the only
biggest
other team I think that has a minute chance, and I think it's less than 5%, is Buffalo, because Buffalo could conceivably, steal the division, and then you get into all the different stuff with if that tough schedule that Evan talked about with the Broncos comes into play. But I think it's just New England and Denver.
Yeah, the Patriots right now are slight favorites to be the 1 seed in most places, but it's because their back end of their schedule is easier than Denver's.
Yeah.
So not by much, honestly, because you have Baltimore and Buffalo, but they have the Jets and the Dolphins, and they have
they're easier than the Chargers and the Jags.
Yeah,
two teams who are in playoff, still in the playoff mix, trying to make it.
Yep.
Do one more email. It's Travis in West Virginia. We're talking about me reading emails. He says, reading favorites. He says, nonsense, Fred. My emails are always good, and you only read about 1 out of every 5 I send. Also, Kwani doesn't read emails either. The only difference is that she pretends she didn't get any emails, while you pretend you got a lot. It's not pretending. We get a lot. So,
a lot of emails. Can't really read them all.
All right. All right. There's a lot more emails. I'm sorry I didn't get to all of them. But anyway, we'll be back tomorrow, so you'll have another chance to email or call in. The gang will be all here because Evan won't have a locker room to go to.
No.
Deuce won't have a locker room to go to.
Picks?
Live picks from Evan.
Live picks from Evan.
He's going to abstain.
Second time.
How do we, any any teaser? Oh, Paul had a
How
good
about
week?
Mike remains terrible?
Paul had a good week?
Spread.
I had a really good week with the spread.
Okay.
Just kind of average otherwise.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get to that tomorrow. Thanks for watching today.
Hey, this is Alex. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you really want to help us, make sure you like us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, make sure you follow us on the New England Patriots YouTube channel to see this show and everything else we do here at the Patriots. Thanks a lot.